Hello everyone and welcome to the Barrie Ball Hockey Club, home of the Rogers TV Game of the Week. My name is Jim Lowe and my broadcast colleague is Patrick Melbourne, and we are here beginning the evening with U14 Elite action as the Goalies Nightmares in blue take on the Redwings in yellow. Patrick.
Hello everybody, I'm Patrick Melbourne, like mentioned, alongside Jim Lowe. We're taking a look at the Red Wings today. They are undefeated. They're 9-2 versus the Goalies Nightmare. Their weak point, Jim, has been their goals against.
Absolutely. They haven't been a nightmare for opposing goaltenders. It's been for poor Tyler Sultan in net. He's been in for 42 goals against in 5 games, but he's a solid little goalie, and I'm sure he's ready to turn it around against this Red Wings team.
And he's helped out by his top scorer, Tyler Tompkins, and 4 goals, 6 points on the season.
Yep, Tompkinson's wearing number 2. Keep an eye on him. Also watch for Thomas Weedman with 5 points and Mark Braz with 4. Weedman wearing number 9 and Braz number 3.
And we're ready for ball drop. Both teams fighting for it in the center, going right back and forth now to the left of the goaltender for the Red Wings. Heads back through across center. And we're going to see a lot of hectic activity at the front before each team gets in their groove.
Absolutely, and something to remember at the Ball Hockey Club here, we have a floating blue line, so teams must cross the blue line to gain the offensive advantage. However, then the offensive zone opens up to the red line.
Scoring chance for Goalies Nightmare right there. You see them in blue.
That was Owen Cranley making the save for the Red Wings.
Now across near the stands, across center. The Red Wings regain the ball now. Hidden by the goaltender, hit back, and now play will stop. And you know, here at the, play continued, excuse me, behind, I thought it stopped. Now, Goalies Nightmare regets. The atmosphere here is kind of nice, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. Having the parents and the fans around the stands really allows for an intimate atmosphere. Can sometimes be intimidating for the officials, like Fred and Josh out there tonight, but it makes it a family game.
The ball goes out of play.
Now, Patrick, this is, as we mentioned, the Elite U14 division. We have 2 types of youth divisions here at the Ball Hockey Club. We have a house league in which players are assigned to balanced teams, and the elite divisions in which coaches enter in an entire roster of their own, and it makes for some of the most competitive and best ball hockey at the club.
Face-off won by the Red Wings. They'll grab the ball, passes it to his teammate, 11. That's Brett McCabe. Now, back to Goalies Nightmare. Blocks of action happening to the left of the Goalies Nightmare goaltender, Tyler Sultan.
So a little offside there for Goalies Nightmare coming into the zone. They've looked pretty strong. Don't look at all like a last place team, and I think this is just a team that's needed some time to gel. Often in the elite divisions, you have teams that have been together for a number of seasons, and so for a newer team, it can really be a challenge.
And you know, myself and Ben Brand have talked about this in the Huronia Stallions broadcast. Sometimes when you come in and you're a strong team, you kind of take the weight off when you're facing a weaker team, and sometimes that can go to the weaker team's advantage.
Absolutely.
Goalies Nightmare with the ball, shoots it across, now to the left. Back to the Red Wings. Red Wings are in yellow, not red if you're watching at home. Now back to the Nightmare, shoots it, but it goes right back. Now fighting for it in center. Red Wings look to have a grip and immediately give it up to Goalies Nightmare as it goes the length of the ice. Red Wings will get there first. Shoots it across behind the net to his teammate.
That's Deacon Hurd moving the ball up, and he's one of the bigger players on the floor. You'll notice the Red Wings have a significant size advantage over Goalies Nightmare. Look for that to really play a role as the game goes on.
Scoring opportunity, and it definitely goes in right there as Goalies Nightmare goes up 1-0. And you know, now that they're down 1-0, even though they've got a lead, and won 9-2 their last time out as we take another look at Rogers TV, maybe the mindset changes for the Red Wings now.
Looks to be Connor Fisher bringing the ball around and tucking it in.
Face off in center. Ball drops, face off 1. Looked immediately by Goalies Nightmare, but they immediately give it up to the Red Wings who shoots. Ball is stopped.
So nice solid draw by Theron LeBlanc there on the Red Wings. LeBlanc, I apologize, basically wins it to himself, beats the Nightmare with his speed, but a solid save from Tyler Sultan keeps it 1-0 Goalies Nightmare.
Now back to the Red Wings. Flips it up by the defender, gets tripped up near his feet. Flips it back, but no one's there as it'll be a turnover. Now across center. Goalies Nightmare flips it up, and it'll be gloved by the goalie of the Red Wings, who's had a lot of traffic in front of him so far today.
Absolutely. We're seeing how much a difference speed can make on this short surface. A few steps and a player is absolutely gone. So second line coming out for Goalies Nightmare. We'll see what they can do.
Like you mentioned, a new set of legs on the court as the ball will drop. Squirts up by, race to get it, as it'll be Goalies Nightmare that gets it first, and this could be key. Opportunity here, goes in!
Great work by Connor Fisher. I think that pass came from Austin Morby along the boards.
And now it's 2-0 Goalies Nightmare, who's seeing their season maybe turning around right before our eyes. You can see it again here. And Jim, nice goal.
Yeah. Connor Fisher down on his knees, just gets up as the pass comes in and buries it.
Back live now, it'll squirt to the left corner near the Red Wings goaltender. Goalies Nightmare fighting for it, gets it behind. If they can curve it around, they'll have an opportunity. Gets away from him, and now recovered by the Red Wings. Goalies Nightmare not letting that easy for them as the Red Wings recover once again. And neither team really, even though it's 2-0, neither team really putting much of a stamp on play so far.
No, certainly Goalies Nightmare has had more possession in the offensive end, but we've seen some solid chances by the Red Wings.
It just feels like every time Goalies Nightmare has an opportunity to really make the play there, is they lose it or they get fumbling with it or whatever. Scoring opportunity will be gloved by Goalies Nightmare. That was right into his glove.
That position where the offense is collapsing in, I love the play that Tyler Sultan made there. Just slow it down, calm it down, get the first line back out, and work on getting the ball out of the zone.
Sultan's had a rough year so far, but he looks doing
great
well
today.
Yeah. Hits behind his leg, loses it, and now Goalies Nightmare tries to recover. They do. The shot is wide. Now across the blue line into center. The shot, again, right into Tyler Sultan.
Yeah, nice hard shot from Connor Hiles, but he shot it right into the goalie's chest. And if I'm Sultan, I'm enjoying it to take that shot all day.
3:55 left on the clock in the first. 2-0 Goalies Nightmare here on Rogers TV. The shot, well wide, heads into the corner to the left of the goaltender. Red Wings trying to make something before the period ends. Their passing game not looking very sharp so far as Goalies Nightmare recovers behind the net. Defensive recovery there. The pass now right back to the Red Wings, who shoots. That could have been something, but it wasn't. Good job right there by Sultan.
Well, Sultan's been the story of this first period, Patrick.
Looking like the Red Wings are taking more of a stamp, though, giving Sultan some more pressure.
Yep, that's by far the best shift the Red Wings have had this period. Multiple shots there and using that size. Finally, after 7 minutes of play, they're finally getting some big bodies to that net, and they nearly cashed one in.
Bigger bench for Goalies Nightmare than for the Red Wings.
Yeah, and as the sun comes out, that's going to make a big difference. Oh, sweet goal by Hiles.
Yeah, it looks like that one just kind of crept in, and it's 2-1. Not much Sultan could have done about that one.
No, absolutely beautiful play from his backhand, going top shelf.
Almost had to look twice to confirm that was in. Here we go again on Rogers TV. You see it right there, curves it right, and looks like it's blocked, but it did find net right there.
Yeah.
So now we're back live. Goalies Nightmare's got possession, flips it to the left, and it'll head into the corner. Good job defensively by the Red Wings to not let that become anything.
Be interesting to see how Goalies Nightmare respond once that first goal has gone through. Are they going to get rattled and go back to their struggles, or can they add some insurance?
It'll be interesting to see here.
Up here, sit down now.
Red Wings undefeated on the season, down 2-1.
Good work on the
Now
draw
the
by Goalies Nightmare.
opportunity, but it's blocked right there by the goaltender for the Red Wings, Owen Cranley. Cranley hasn't had to deal with a whole lot of pressure lately. Now an opportunity, but it's flipped back by the defense. Good job there.
Yeah, Mark Braz just solid on D.
Passing game not going ideally for the Goalies Nightmares. They try and get out of their own end. Just find it right back in there. The pass, good one right there.
One of the challenges you find playing here is the ball conditions vary significantly according to the temperature and the weather. It can be a real struggle from game to game to adjust from sticky ball to one that's firing all over the floor.
Yeah, we saw in our last games that it was more windy, so it's a different atmosphere. And we also mentioned, if you're watching at home, this isn't a puck. This is something very different with a lot more bounce, so they have to adjust to it. Cross blue now in center as the Goalies Nightmare trying to make something in the last 1 minute 30 of this one. They want to go up even more.
LeBlanc has been the most effective Red Wing in getting that ball out of the zone, but can't seem to cash in or make anything happen in the other end of the floor.
Their passing games needs to improve a little bit, I'd say. Now an opportunity. Good job right there in the goaltending again by Tyler Sultan. It led behind. He tries to glove it, doesn't. And there's a lot of traffic there. It would be a good opportunity for the Red Wings if they can make something of that traffic and maybe sneak it in there again.
Absolutely. Under a minute to go in the first. They'd love to cash one in, get out of this period with a tie. Solid forechecking from Austin Morby of the Nightmare.
Heads to the left. Passed it to his Red Wings teammate, but the defense is too strong, loses it, recovers it. He may have a shot here. He does, but it's right to Sultan, who loses it. Gloves it. Good play right there by Tyler Sultan. Realizes that's getting to be a little too much. Gloves it, stops play.
Absolutely, but if you're Slowey, the coach of the Red Wings, you got to be wishing he passed that there. Two guys coming in with them. Lots of opportunity to move that ball, get the goalie moving, and instead he takes the shot.
But maybe their passing game hasn't been all that strong through the first, so you want to try and tie things up.
Fair point, Patrick.
Both teams fighting for it to the left of Sultan. And now the Red Wings trying to do it again.
Just slips over the red line.
Red Wings make the defensive recovery. The shot is long, and that is the first.
We're watching the Rogers Ballhockey.com Game of the Week. This is the U14 Elite matchup between the Red Wings in yellow and Goalies Nightmare in blue. I'm Jim Lowe, and I'm with Patrick Melbourne on play-by-play.
Flips now to the left as the Red Wings trying to create something. Heads now to the other side, the Goalies Nightmare side, to the right, of their goaltender, Tyler Sultan, who had a very eventful first period there.
And the pressure is actually going to be on Owen Cranley in the other crease in this period. Sun is in his eyes, sun is setting, it's just a little past 7 o'clock. He's going to have trouble seeing some of those point shots. If I'm Andy Weidman, the coach of the Nightmare, I'm having my D shoot every chance that ball comes up to the point.
What if you're the coach of the Red Wings?
Block those shots, get in the shooting lanes.
Both teams going back and forth now in the side of the Red Wings. Goalies Nightmare trying to find those shooting opportunities, can't find the spots. Now heads the length of the court. And shot goes long, now to the left of the Red Wings goaltender, Cranley.
So both of these teams are actually near the end of their season, headed into playoffs. Playoffs for this division start on August 18th. They have 4 teams in the Elite U14 division, so the first place team will take on the 4th place team. Goalies Nightmare definitely looking to make some moves to get out of that spot and be in a better position for the playoffs.
And if you're the Red Wings undefeated, you kind of want to make your whole season undefeated, don't you?
Absolutely.
Red Wings trying to get it first. Seem a little confused there. A stick goes off. Number 12 right there doing some fancy footwork, picks up his stick.
Yeah, that was the goal scorer for the Red Wings in the first period, Connor Hiles. Some really solid work on the boards to let his team get a bit more organized, and the ball's still in the zone.
Opportunity, the shot goes wide. That's as easy a shot as you get.
Yeah, Deacon Hurd's going to want that one back. Beautiful setup from Hiles.
And especially since you're down by 1, you need that shot to go in. Now back to Goalies Nightmare, heads across center ice, or excuse me, center court. It would be in ball hockey.
Jonathan Harper just keeping the Nightmare player to the outside, quickly gets the possession back for the Red Wings.
Goalies Nightmare has to play defense again, as the pressure has been a lot harder on them this second than has been in the first. Now back to the Nightmare, cross center.
Nice little run for Rossi, but took it into traffic and lost it.
And the defenses have been stepping up here in the second with 7:39 left on the clock. Both teams strategizing now, an opportunity for the shot, nothing doing. Now behind the net, the Red Wings just have to be a little bit more organized, can't let the Goalies Nightmare have too many more of those chances. Shot goes wide. Another shot, doesn't go in. I'm not sure the goalie knew where that went.
No, he absolutely lost sight of it, but sometimes you're good and sometimes you're lucky.
Sometimes it pays to be a little bit of both.
Great defensive work by Dustin Rossi for the Nightmares. He's been a really solid player throughout this game.
Goalies Nightmare trying to get it out of their own end, but the ball just isn't cooperating. Mixed with strong defense by the Red Wings to get the ball back.
I really think the Nightmare at some point are going to have to switch to more of a dump and chase game. They're not going to bring the ball in against these large Red Wings defenders. They've got the numbers on the bench. They've got the speed. They got to start moving their feet more.
And that ball flips up about 5 centimeters from our heads. As we're going to take a look at one of these last chances here on Rogers TV, as you can see it right here, Jim.
This Deacon out in front, right position, just didn't get off the shot that he wanted.
That flips back, an opportunity. Great job by Tyler Sultan. He's had to work quickly today.
Yeah, I think Brett McCabe made the right shot selection there. He was trying to tuck it below Sultan's glove, just couldn't get it through.
And shot selection, myself and Steven Zoyas on the last broadcast talked about this. So important in ball hockey because the ball is a little bit erratic, so you've got to pay extra attention to where you're shooting from.
Absolutely, although once you master it, there are a lot of wizards out here who can absolutely control where that ball drops, where it curves, and it's much to a goalie's dismay.
Sometimes a goalie plays well, but the offense is stronger. Ball flips up. And you know, you got into the right position right there, Goalies Nightmare player number 12. I don't see his name right here.
I think that's Nicholas Aubin.
But the defense was just too strong. Now the Red Wings coming back. Cross center, moving from defense to offense now. Curves around, just can't get into position. The pass, more like a shot right there, but there's no way that was going in.
No, but not necessarily a bad play with the way that ball's moving. Comes funny off the goalie's pads, and Alora Rail would have been right there for the rebound.
Chance from the coaches. If you're on the bench right now for either team, what are you thinking?
If I'm the Red Wings, I'm preaching patience.
Shot right here.
Oh, beautiful shot by Alora Rail. I like the way the game is going for the Red Wings. They've controlled the play. They're using their size to their advantage now. Another shot from Rail.
And they've had a lot of shot opportunities, so if they keep nailing down, some of them will go in and they'll be able to tie it. The defense has been strong, though, for the Goalies Nightmare. Hasn't let much go in. Nothing this second. It's still 2-1 with 3:20 left in the period. Play will stop.
Yeah, the Red Wings were making a change. Got some tired bodies out there. Just came in offside. It's a very short bench, very easy to get tripped up on that.
Yeah, and sometimes when you got the shorter bench for the Red Wings, some of the players can get fatigued more easily, and that can play against you later in the game.
Absolutely, and this Nightmares team is a speedy little team. I'd actually like to see them use that speed a bit more, and we were talking about what the coaches should be doing. Absolutely turn the jets on, Nightmares. You can run some circles around these bigger guys who are withering in the heat.
We're talking that the second may be the best opportunity to score in the whole game, because the first, you're sort of getting into it, and by the third, you're a little more tired, so the second would be your prime.
Absolutely. This is the second period of the ballhockey.com Game of the Week on Rogers TV Barrie. I'm Jim Lowe, and I'm with Patrick Melbourne. Nightmares currently lead the Red Wings 2-1.
Gets cross center, pass it to his teammate, and it goes through. Shot opportunity not taken. Too much traffic in front of the net. Just trying to make something now. Shot weak, goes to his teammate, more like a pass, and now Kerr's behind the net.
Oh.
And now an opportunity does not go in.
Solid defense. Weidman had been floating around there. I thought the Red Wings maybe had lost sight of him, but Maxime Goulard picked him up, denied him the opportunity.
Both teams battling for it to the left of the Red Wings goaltender. As the shot blocked easily. Now the ball goes behind. The goaltender is going to have to pay extra attention here because there are members of the Nightmare on both sides to pass to. Goes to the left of him.
Some great work by Sydney Tompkinson on the boards there for the Nightmares. She was giving up a lot of size to that Red Wing opponent, and she battled him right along the length of the boards.
Long shot, didn't find a teammate to pass to. Now goes right across center and curves around back. No way the Nightmare were going to get to that one to score. And now a lot of traffic again. Nightmare trying to find a position. They pass the shot well high.
I think that may have hit a defenseman's stick. It seemed to go up further than we would have expected. Ball went off of the Nightmares players, so icing's waved off.
Nice pass right there by the Nightmare. Pass again. Gets a little confused now. Off the leg of the Red Wing. That's it!
We had mentioned Sydney Tompkinson. A lot of hard work and grit in that young player. Wasn't the intended play, but she was putting the shot forward with the sun in the goalie's eyes. Bounces off defender's stick and goes right to Weidman.
Sometimes you make a game plan, you see what works, and it doesn't happen, so you just do whatever you can, and that's what happened there. You take a look again here on Rogers TV. Second shot, that one managed to find net.
Solid shot by Weidman. He knew the goalie was looking into the sun. He wasn't going to waste any time there.
And that's 3-1, goalie's Nightmare. And with the way points are coming in this one with strong defenses, you got to think that's a massive goal right there.
Absolutely. With down to a minute left in the period, ahead by 2, they're going to tighten things up. These guys are hungry for their first win. They're so thrilled to go into the third period with hopefully a 2-goal lead.
Here for the face-off, 56 seconds left. Now goalie's Nightmare may have an opportunity if they use it strategically here. Now cross second blue line. No, it doesn't get there. Defense too strong by the Red Wings. Now back to goalie's Nightmare. Knocked away. The Red Wings will shift it right behind the net. The shot is gloved. Nice save right there by Owen Cranley.
Some solid work by Nicholas Aubin for goalie's Nightmare, digging away at that much bigger player. And although sometimes size can be intimidating, when you can slip in underneath like he did, it can often result in you getting the ball. Red Wings showing a bit of fatigue here, getting slower on their changes. They're going to be happy to get a break at the end of this period.
This is an opportunity for goalie's Nightmare with some more legs on to show that they're a little bit more fresh. Up 3-1. Ball squirts back. They'd be wise to pass it back to one of the 2 open players back there, but it doesn't happen as the ball flips back behind the net. And Goalies Nightmare just looking for something to do right now, flips it back. That one wasn't anywhere close to going in. And the second is concluded here on Rogers TV. Both teams playing with all the effort in the world. Shot here, goes and gets blocked. And we've seen great goaltending from Owen Cranley.
Yep, the Nightmare have turned it on in fits and spurts, and Cranley has generally been there. I think Salton in net for the Nightmares had more saves overall, but certainly not going to take anything away from Cranley's effort today.
It's all about that offensive pressure. When these teams have been on, they've been really on. It's just been more Goalies Nightmare so far than the Red Wings. Both defenses have been strong as well as it goes to the left of the goaltender for the Red Wings, Cranley.
That was a beautiful pass by Tompkinson to his sister, Sydney Tompkinson. She wasn't ready for it and lost it in the sun.
Both teams racing for it now. Nightmare wins, passed it to his teammate, 5, goes into the corner.
Look for a quick pass up the middle to Tompkinson here. Oh, Weidman couldn't quite get control of that ball.
Goalies Nightmare under some offensive pressure right now by the Red Wings. Their defense has turned it on. Now back. Nice curve right there in the middle. Flips it to his teammate. Not the greatest shot selection right there, but maybe nothing more he could do. Now back to the Red Wings. Pass it. Across the blue line in center now. Gives it to his teammate. Nope, that was a fake. Keeps it for himself. Now flips it back. Ooh, fortunate play right there by the Red Wings as the Nightmare just couldn't get a handle of it.
That's Rossi. He's got the lone Red Wings goal. I apologize, Hiles.
It's all about the shot selection now for the Red Wings, who are running out of time.
Oh, Hiles back to his backhand. That's how he scored the first goal for the Red Wings. Almost got another one there. Puts a little wide.
Goalies Nightmare in the center, gets it flipped back, and the Red Wings have an opportunity.
Coach Weidman looking to get some changes on the fly here. Oh, nearly got out too many men there.
And the Red Wings shots have been plentiful during this third, but nothing's gone their way so far. Now an opportunity. Not a whole lot of traffic there. Pass it to his teammate. Heads into the corner. And now back to the Nightmare. And if the Nightmare play like this the rest of the way, then they'll have no problem finishing it.
They're going to shock some teams in the playoffs. This is a solid team. This is not a last place team.
And you said that size advantage for the Red Wings may come into play, hasn't come into play at all so far.
No, I mean, it's certainly coming into the zone. They've been able to slow up the Nightmares' attack, but they've been scrambling and tired once they lose that advantage.
You mentioned they've been able to slow them down a little bit. A team with that size advantage should be able to control the speed, the pace of play, as you see a shot not going in. Now another opportunity, as the Nightmares' defense just been playing their hearts out so far. You see them get it out of the way again there, but the Red Wings just persistent. They should be controlling the pace of play, and they just aren't. And I think that's a testament to how good the Goalies Nightmare team has been.
Absolutely, and I've really liked the game that number 5, Dustin Rossi, has been playing for the Nightmares. Looks like we might have I think the net was just knocked off, so we got a whistle. But as I was saying, Dustin Rossi, number 5, lots of solid poke checks, hustled hard to the ball, and he adjusts on the fly. When the center dropped low, he immediately picked up that guy in the slot and ensured that no scoring opportunity opened up.
Goalies Nightmare trying to control again, but they lose it. Now back to the Red Wings, and you'd think with all the passing and the fluidity that the Red Wings are doing throughout this third period that the defense would be a little bit easier to stop, but that defense for the Goalies Nightmare has been really strong. Now Goalies Nightmare takes it away from them again. They get it back. But again, Goalies Nightmare will get there before the Red Wings can do anything. Turnover. And this will be gloved by Cranley.
Smart play by Cranley. Get his team a bit of a breather. Still over 5 minutes in this game. Lots of time for the Red Wings to come back. If I'm Slowy's coach, I'm saying, good. Get us every chance to catch our breath. We're going to take our chances. We want to get some shots on net.
You've got to think, though, with only 5 minutes left on the other end, if Goalies Nightmare gets one more, it could be over.
Absolutely, Patrick.
Goalies Nightmare will get there first. Now the opportunity. And I think that's a wise decision right there to glove it right there by Tyler Salton. Stop the play when it looks like the Red Wings were starting to get some action going.
Yeah, really solid play by Laura Rail to knock that towards the net. But Hiles just didn't have quite enough gas left in the tank to get to the loose ball.
4:50 left on the clock. Goalies Nightmare. Good job curving that around. Does it again. The pass just missed.
Potential 3-on-1 here. Oh, but Rail just can't get to the ball in time.
And you mentioned earlier that some of the better teams can control the ball exactly the way they want to. I've seen a lot of that today by Goalies Nightmare. Something I didn't necessarily think I'd see from a team with this record, 1-4.
Well, as we mentioned, sometimes it can take teams a while to gel, but they're now 3/4 of the way through their season, comfortable with each other, comfortable with their coach, and they bury one.
Well, we mentioned earlier if Goalies Nightmare gets one more, that could be it. Now it'll be interesting to see whether the Red Wings can fix that mentality, and there is still time left.
I believe that was Dominic Olesk. No, it was Mark Braz.
Mark Braz, we talked about him in the pregame. 4 points on the season coming into this game, listed as a player to watch. And he gets one in right there.
Yeah, charges in, doesn't make any mistake, and that could be the straw that breaks the Red Wings back.
Ball gets flipped up. The Red Wings will be the first one to get there. Nope, now it's Goalies Nightmare. They just sped up a little bit more. And it's just that fire, that energy from the Goalies Nightmare squad that's really brought them alive today.
Patrick, I think number 10, Sydney Tompkinson's been the hardest working player on the floor today. She has not been beaten to a loose ball yet.
As ball flips up and out of the field of play. 3 times now the ball's come off the court, and that's just a fresh start for both teams. Chance to rest a little bit.
Yeah, very typical, particularly on this rink. This rink has a little less fencing around it. You can see Dunlop Street in the background. The ball hockey club's located right at the corner of Dunlop and Ferndale, and the balls do tend to sometimes wind up in the parking lot across the road.
Or about 5 centimeters near our face. Was it something
yes,
we said?
It'll happen again, Patrick. Mark my word.
I hope not. Shot goes wide. And now Goalies Nightmare just playing strong defense for the last 3:18, and they'll have this one. Back to the Red Wings, trying to get at least one more for their morale. Gets stopped. In center ice now, number 3 for the Red Wings. The shot goes wide. And I think it says something about Tyler Salton, how prepared he's been for all these shots today.
Yep, he had 2 periods with the sun in his eyes, but he's been the better goaltender today.
The sun has set, so no sun in anyone's eyes now. As that one, did it go in? Looks like it may have.
We'll have to take a look at that on the replay.
Yeah.
That one snuck in. I don't think Tyler Salton was expecting
Yeah,
it.
that one went in. We'll take a look at that one again. It just kind of flipped in. Everyone was sort of on edge right there. So we can see it, and
Hiles he scored both goals for the Red Wings, both of them off of backhands.
and both of them were almost kind of shockers, sort of in.
He's a crafty player, and I think if they'd been able to get the ball onto his stick a little more often, this could be a very different story, Patrick.
Stopped by Sultan. Say that one 5 times fast.
4-2 Goalies Nightmare leading the Red Wings in ballhockey.com. Elite under 14 ball hockey from the Barrie Ball Hockey Club. I'm Jim Lowe, and I'm with Patrick Melbourne on play-by-play.
Goalies Nightmare just trying to wind down that clock. Red Wings have cut the lead to 2.
And a penalty-free game too, Patrick, which is fairly uncommon, especially with the competitiveness that we get in the elite divisions.
Don't jinx it.
So I want to be keeping an eye on Owen Cranley in the Red Wings net with 2:12 to go, I wouldn't be surprised to see him come out in the next 30 to 40 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not sure I always love the play. We talked about this with Steven Toyas in our last broadcast to take out the goaltender, but right now you kind of have to.
Down by 2, they've struggled to create some offense. I want that extra big body down there to try to create some havoc.
Especially when their offensive presence has sometimes been a little bit limited with that defense, having that extra player to pass with. Could be a game changer.
Dustin Rossi with a great hard effort up the boards, but got slowed up by the Red Wings D and just put offside.
Minute 52 left to play. This is one of 3 games we've got for you on Rogers TV.
Red Wings have called a timeout.
What do you think they're discussing right there on the bench with down by 2, a little bit less than 2 minutes left?
Well, first of all, I want to win the draw. The teams have been fairly even on the draws. I think maybe a slight advantage.
We're going to take a look at those last few goals right now here on Rogers TV.
This is Weidman's goal that came off the block shot.
And what else are you talking about if you're on the bench?
Well, I'm letting the players know when I'm going to pull the goalie. I'm going to wait till I get a solid possession, preferably with the ball down deep. And I'm picking my biggest, fastest guy to break into that zone, preferably someone who can take the pass on the fly or crash into the net to create some havoc.
So with how much time on the clock do you think they'll pull their goalie?
I'd look for him just around the 1 minute mark. So if they can get sustained pressure down low, particularly if they can isolate one of the Nightmares defenders, then maybe you pull him a bit before that.
Goalie's nightmare now. Curves it around. The Red Wings trying to add that pressure. He loses it.
Cranley's out of the net.
The
Extra
pass.
attacker out for the Red Wings.
And it goes high, but stays in the playing surface. Now a lot of emotion on that field.
Just keep an eye on Jonathan Harper, all alone at the point. He's going to be looking for shot.
Jim mentioned a minute ago, empty net for the Red Wings, so they cannot afford to do that. Goes across, Red Wings. If it's in the end of the goalie's nightmare, the Red Wings game plan is up. About a minute 10 left on the clock.
Red Wings got to get a little better job. Hiles looking for the hat trick.
Shot after shot after shot. Not the type of play Hiles exceeds at. As that goes wide, that could have been dangerous for the Red Wings with their goalie out.
Yeah, I think Rossi panicked a bit there, just blasted it out. It's going to give the Red Wings a chance to reset, and I believe the Nightmares are now calling a timeout.
So, let's do it again. If you're the Nightmares, what are you thinking?
Win the draw. Same advice as the Red Wings. I want to drop back, particularly to Rossi, and hopefully this time Rossi can lob it up boards a bit more, not fire it quite so hard, eat up some time. You're okay. With the way the Nightmares D is playing, I'm okay conceding some time in the offensive zone to the Red Wings. We just don't want anyone getting in close. Both the goals that have gone in on Sultan have been backhands from the side of the net. I've got a D guy on each side of him making sure no one walks across.
Less than a minute left to play. The officiating has been strong throughout this whole game.
Goalies Nightmare in Blue currently leading the yellow Red Wings 4-2 in Elite U14 action on Rogers TV Barrie.
Now in center, goalies Nightmare trying to get it back. The shot is long and blocked. Really crucial block right there by the Red Wings player.
Tompkinson waited a little too long to set up her shot there. Now her team's in trouble. Great D.
Fantastic job getting possession right there as the Red Wings just have nowhere to shoot right now. The defense has been strong. Another great stop right there. And now goalie's Nightmare in! And I think that's the game.
That's Weidman's second, and that will put a dagger in the hearts of the Red Wings. Bit of a risk there by the Nightmare. 2 guys hanging deep, could have cost them. Bounce went their way, and Weidman did not make any mistake.
Now down by 3 with only 12 seconds left. And what a game for goalies Nightmare.
Absolutely. You come into any game on a losing streak,
We're going to take another look at that one as you keep talking.
you love to break things out with a few goals.
So you see it right there. Nothing too flash about that, but an empty net goal.
And you notice another strong forecheck from Sydney Tompkinson, number 10. She's giving fits to those big guys in yellow.
And your player of the game for Goalies Nightmare's got to be the goalie, Tyler Sultan.
Without a doubt. You know, I've really liked Rossi's game, and Tyler Tompkinson has been excellent in offense, but there's no doubt the first star is Tyler Sultan.
Well, celebrating on the court for Goalies Nightmare, but before we get our focus to the next one, nothing to be ashamed of from the Redwings. They played a strong one as well.
They did. They had a short bench today. They were up against a team that had nothing to lose, hungry for their first win, and they simply didn't get the breaks. I thought in the second period the Redwings were the better team. The scoreboard just didn't reflect that.
And you know what? That second is crucial, so if they can take that, use it in their next game and find those opportunities, maybe tweak a couple of things, they'll come out with a win. All right, so the Goalies Nightmare have defeated the Redwings 5-2 here on Rogers TV. Jim Lowe and I, Patrick Melbourne, will be back with more Barrie ball hockey in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Rogers TV. We got game 2 of 3 for you. Here, it'll be the Heritage Hornets. They are in yellow versus Netgain. They are in gray. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Patrick Melbourne alongside Jim Lowe. And Jim, we saw a great, entertaining first game. Tell us what to expect from the second one.
Well, you'll see the players are a little bit older and heavier than our first game. We're going from the Elite Youth Division to Men's D4. This is one of the more recreational divisions, and in fact, it's the division that my team, the BP Balldawgs, play in. So you'll see some old guys sweating, but you'll also see some clever plays because the old dogs can still deliver on occasion.
Is there anybody from either team to look out for?
Yeah, well, we've got two solid goalies in net. Andrew Wells for the Hornets in yellow, Conrad Decker in white for Netgain. They are going to be the guys that make the difference in this game.
And they each have a shutout on the season.
And identical goals against averages.
Yes. 6th place Heritage Hornets versus the 9th place Netgain. Here we go, as both teams battling for it. Neither team's got a hold on it right off the get-go. The Hornets take control. The pass goes wrong as Netgain intercepts. Hornets will try and get it back as the Heritage Hornets 3-4-3 on the year. A little bit of everything on their record, Jim.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of their wins came at my team's expense. They're looking to move up the standings. They could still finish as high as second headed into the playoffs, and I know they would love to get ahead of some of the younger teams in this division and have a comfortable first-round matchup.
The officiating for this one, going to be a good game, no?
Yeah, we've got Fred Wilding and Jerry Rickema, two of our more experienced officials here. Look for them to keep control of this game. They'll make it very clear early on that they're not going to put up with any garbage.
Puck goes quickly from behind the net to center. The shot goes high.
There's a player to watch there, number 10 in gray, Brian Moore. I've played against him for a number of years. He's got 9 points on the season, and he is someone that the yellow team is going to have to stay on top of. The Hornets can't leave him alone.
5 goals, 4 assists for Moore. The Hornets recover. Now left, right, stick with the stick, heads to the corner to the left of the goaltender for Netgain, who is Conrad Decker. And we were talking about him before we went on air. Conrad Decker has some talent.
He has some talent in net, also a very talented businessman. Of course, runs Netgain here in Barrie, a great young business person in our community, and one of the better goalies on this floor.
Hornets pass it to his teammate slow, but he is there inside. Flips it back, and their passing game's been solid earlier on.
Yeah, you're going to see crisper passing than we had in our first game. Certainly, the deeper benches are going to help. This should be a solid one, Patrick.
Heritage trying to keep possession behind their own net. Don't want to create any opportunities for the Hornets, who have already created their own earlier on in this one. Behind the pass. And a lot of back and forth battling behind the net.
Oh.
Tries to curve it in. Conrad Decker is there. Conrad Decker gloves it, and play will stop.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of crashing the crease. Neither of these teams really have a ton of finesse. Instead, they're going to have good, solid plays and look to cash in some rebounds.
For the Heritage Hornets, Chris Kinsey, 12 goals, 5 assists, and Dave Howe, 11 goals, 6 assists, a couple of powerhouses.
Absolutely, and keep an eye on Kinsey in particular. He's wearing number 6. Howe is number 9, and they are the focus of the offense on this team.
As play will stop. We talked about Conrad Decker, but we haven't talked about James Wells, the goalie for the Hornets. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, I've played against James for a number of years. He's a bigger goalie, takes up the net well. The key is you want to get James moving. If you can get him cutting across the crease and then come back on his blocker side, you got a chance. Not going to beat him with a lot of direct shots.
As Conrad Decker blocks that one, heads to the right. Hornets trying to create another opportunity.
You'll notice Decker's a quicker goalie, very nimble in the net, likes to move around. Don't really have any keys to beating him other than pouring on lots of shots. Yeah, he's pretty solid in every department.
Heritage playing defense now. Yes, the Heritage Hornets. Netgain having their first opportunity.
Now, Netgain's currently in last place, but they've also played fewer games than any team in the division. This is a 9-team division, so the 8th and 9th place teams have to play into the playoffs in a 2-game total goal series. Netgain can still get out of that last place spot, move up as high as 6th place, and avoid having to play in that preliminary round.
5 losses. What's gone wrong?
Well, I think they've suffered to get guys out for games, and when you are an older team, there are a lot of younger players in this division. If you don't have a deep bench, you're going to suffer, especially in those afternoon games in the heat.
Direct shot is wide. Heritage playing defense now. It'll cut across.
We talked in our first game about the family impact. We've talked about Conrad Decker in net. That's his brother Andrew Decker, number 4, who was just causing some havoc in front of Wells.
We talked about some of the leaders for the Heritage Hornets. Andrew Corbett, 10 assists. You want to keep the ball away from him if you're Netgain.
Absolutely. Corbett wearing number 88. Keep an eye on him, slick hands, and can move on the floor pretty well.
Decker loses it, but it goes right to his teammate. That'll get by as the Heritage Hornets will recover in their own end. Pass it to his teammate, 7. Hornets are in yellow, as signified by the Hornet. As that nearly gets by, but Conrad Decker's there. Curves it around. Now Netgain. Netgain is in white or gray, depending on the player. They'll have to take it back. A lot of traffic there, but the passing game's fluid anyway.
A really interesting comparison between our first and second game. You see number 17, Carl Kovacs for Netgain, absolutely parked at the side of the net, didn't allow the Hornets player to come around, tuck one in. We saw that twice in our first game.
Not a massive bench for either team.
No, this is pretty standard for this division, and I know teams like the Balldawgs or Netgain are happy to have 3 or 4 guys on the bench. It's a rarity sometimes.
We've seen where they only have 2 or even 1 on the bench in the past.
So the ball goes out of play there. You'll notice the plastic glass along the boards. If the ball connects with that, it's a dead ball. Ball can, of course, come off the boards and stay legal.
Ball drops, but it gets by everyone. The Hornets going to take on a very extended win of that power play. Gets it to his goaltender. Now back to the player. The pass off the wall. And now passes to his teammate, the passing game has been very strong early in this one. Now behind the net, as the Heritage Hornets just trying to get that shot selection going in the right places. They haven't found that right sweet spot yet. Still nothing. Just less than 5 minutes left to play in the first. Pass it, it's a turnover, but sets up right for the shot.
It's a nice little play. Frere passed it up to Placido. He mishandled it, but his partner was right there. Fortunately, couldn't get the shot through.
Nice pass right there by Heritage. Now the shot goes up and play is stopped.
Yep, this is the blue rink, the oldest rink here. It has a very unique characteristics in terms of the boards, how the ball comes off of it. The veteran players generally know how the ball is going to come off. They can read that and create a scoring opportunity off of what appears to be a wide shot, but is actually a set play.
The long pass goes to the other team. And now Netgain, long shot, tries for more of a pass, and now I thought he was going to glove it, but pushes it away, hoping to get it to his teammate. Goes all the way the length of the course. Now Netgain playing defense. The pass, now across center. Goes well high, and it looks like it may have gone out.
So playoffs for these teams start in just about a week, August 10th. As we mentioned, Heritage is looking to secure a high playoff spot. Netgain trying to get out of the basement and avoid a preliminary round matchup.
Shot is blocked by Wells. Heads behind now. The shot doesn't happen as Heritage trying to get out of their own end now. And that will be stopped by James Wells.
So Patrick, one of the things you'll notice is that Netgain does have some younger legs. They've got a mix of veteran players and younger guys. That could make a difference as this game goes on because they have the veteran savvy of a guy like Moore or Decker, but also some young legs who will still be able to run when we get into the
some
second
of
and
the
third period.
playmakers, the game plan people, and some of the guys who are just out there to run. Hornets across the center. He's speed. Tries to set up something, but he has no one to pass it to. It goes right to Netgain.
Yeah, Matthew Frere, number 29, has certainly been the most effective Hornet in terms of gaining the zone. But if anything, he might be a little too fast. His teammates seem to be trailing him a bit, not in a position to take any of his passes when he gets in deep.
Looks like we may have a penalty.
Yeah, that's Andrew Decker headed to the box.
Decker, number 44 for Netgain. Now the Hornets setting up something again. Heads back now to the left. The shot is wide. Again, I think trying to get something off the boards. He knew where that was going out, went right to his teammate. Shot again, and it is gloved by Conrad Decker.
Andrew Reed is a solid player for the Hornets. He was in the right position. Didn't have his right hand, so he had to go to the backhand and didn't quite get a shot that was going to give Deckard any problems.
And Matthew Frere speeding down that line. Sometimes that speed is really crucial to a team.
Chris Kinsley just robbed there by Decker. And he knows it too. You can see the frustration. He thought he had a goal.
And James Wells hasn't seen a lot of action over on the other end lately.
No, and Heritage has a solid power play. I wouldn't expect that Wells will see much for about another minute and a half.
Blocked again by Decker.
The Hornets not at all using their point shots this power play. Everything's been kept deep. Wingers are putting it towards net rather than looking for that option. When you've got this extra space, I think you got to look more at your point.
As the shot is missed. Now Netgain with an opportunity, down a man.
Yeah, Stan
As
Wren,
that
ball just
hits-
skipped on him.
Hits a man outside of play.
Stan Wren was in the right position. Ball skipped just as it got to his stick and nearly gave Netgain a shorthanded opportunity.
So tell us a little bit more about the men's D4 division.
Certainly. Well, we have men's leagues from A through B, C, and we actually have 5 men's divisions. D4 tends to be more friends, almost the equivalent of beer league hockey, in that it's a bunch of guys looking for some exercise and to have some fun. But don't let that fool you. It is a competitive division, and these guys want to win.
Netgain flips it up, but right to the Hornets. As he gets to the corner, no opportunity really except a pass to that man right there, number 11. And gloves right there by Decker. He's been unstoppable so far in this one with 35 seconds. Yeah, just 35 seconds left in the first. This one's gone by fast so far.
Yep, that was prototypical Decker there. He kept sight of the ball the whole time. A whole bunch of traffic, but you could see his eyes darting in and out. He was never at risk of being scored on there. Oh, Placido gets burned at the point.
In center, the shot's wide to the right. To the left of Decker.
So again, I think another missed opportunity to get the ball to the point.
Shot again in Heritage. Just shooting right now. Now playing a little bit of defense. Goes off the board to his teammate. He knew where that was going. The shot is long. Maybe not the shot selection that he wanted as a man was open, passing, and maybe had a better opportunity. And that's the first. And we're staying right here on Rogers TV for the second and more. Netgain, Heritage Hornets, 0-0. At the start of the second period, Patrick Melbourne, Jim Lowe, as the Netgain will try and get something going. They've been a little bit overpowered, especially in the power play, but even a little bit before that.
Absolutely. Heritage is the stronger team. They're higher in the standings, have quite a few more wins. And really, Decker's been the difference here, and it's the reason why Netgain is still in this.
Netgain only the 1 win, but 2 ties on the season. Decker has that 1 shutout.
Yeah, we tied Netgain. Our team tied Netgain earlier in the year, and Decker was the story there. We outshot them by 3-1, I believe, and he was almost unbeatable. We only slipped one by him. They only slipped one by our goalie.
And for those of you at home, your team's the Balldawgs, correct?
Yes, yeah, we're currently sitting in 7th place, right behind the Hornets, and 2 spots ahead of Netgain. Of course, many of these players are going to be preparing for the World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships, returning again to the Ball Hockey Club this September. Runs September 23rd to 25th. We've got men's, women's A. It is the largest and most prestigious outdoor ball hockey tournament in the world, and Rogers TV continues to be a partner in that event.
Heritage cross the blue. Now Netgain. Now back to the Hornets. And number 29, Matthew Frere, he's a big part of that offense.
Yeah, we've seen him with the strongest ball movement. He's very difficult to separate from the ball, but guys have got to get in a position for him, and there he was. But Decker again with a huge glove save.
Conrad Decker's been very, very good so far. Lots of pressure in front of him now to the left of him. Both teams battling for it.
Decker again.
Not the biggest crowd on hand for this game right here, but everybody is into it, those who are here, and they're viewing a pretty good game so far. Now Netgain shoots, and that almost got by him.
Wells lost track of that, but luck was on his side.
And you mentioned one of the ways to get by James Wells. Say that again?
Get him moving. He's a bigger guy. He likes to stand there and face your shots head on. If you can get him moving, look to go blocker side on him. Netgain showing some life after killing off that penalty. starting to pressure the Hornets defense.
Across the center, now Heritage.
Nice move by Reed.
Good block there by Conrad.
Kinsey turns that ball over. He's going to be frustrated. Oh, right back to the
The
Hornets.
shot, blocked again by Decker. Now action to the left and Netgain. Netgain needs to establish the pace of play right here.
Not in.
Just a reminder that offsides here are determined by a floating blue line, so teams must gain the advantage over the blue line, then the offensive zone immediately expands to the red line for coming out.
Cross center goes the length of the court. Looks like Heritage got there first. Heritage, the Hornets, they're in yellow. Netgain's in gray. Cross center. Netgain. Shot.
Oh, a cannon from Moore.
Little bit high. Shot set up again. Curves around. Now the next shot right there in the passing game's been good from both teams.
So a really solid shift to it. One of the players we talked about before the game, Brian Moore, number 10 on net gain. He's a smart player, clean player. That reach really helps him. You saw a couple times the ball looked like it was out of his reach. Instead, he wound up making a nice pass to keep the play active for net gain.
If you were with us earlier in the program, we saw game one with some younger bodies. These guys are a little bit older. Tell us how the game of ball hockey changes when you age.
Well, certainly you start to rely more on your experience, your instincts. It's always enjoyable as an older player when you can frustrate the young guys who think that they're going to run circles. Generally, you play a bit of a rope-a-dope.
Shot. That's it! And they get by James Wells, and Netgain goes up 1-0.
Yeah, great shot from the point by Carl Kovacs.
As we're going to take another look at it here on Rogers TV, just what a shot got by James Wells. And like you said, he was moving a little bit more than comfortable, found a hole, brought it through.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it skipped up on something. Certainly Wells thought it was going one place and it went another, but just a solid shot from Kovacs.
Now Heritage, not liking that. They want to get back on the board themselves, down 1-0 now.
Well, Patrick, it's frustrating when you've completely outplayed a team for a period, you've dominated in terms of shots, ball possession, and you're down 1-0. It just gets to you. It eats you up. So they're going to be looking to score quickly before that frustration sets in.
And we've seen now 2 straight goalie games, as this time it's Conrad Decker saving his team.
Yeah, Conrad Decker, absolutely the best player in this game so far, but he's going to face a 2-on-0.
Looks like, did that go in?
Yes, that was a goal.
Yes, wow.
Looked like Corbett on the far side.
And you know what, that 2-on-1 approach you mentioned, just way too quick for one goalie. I don't care who you are to stop. You see it right there, pass in. Great job right there by the Heritage Hornets. Maybe inspired a little bit by that last goal. Now it's tied 1-1 here on Rogers TV.
So we're talking about being an older player. Howe, not a young fellow himself. He showed patience, held the ball, made the pass at the last possible minute. Corbett, known more for his passing, does not make a mistake and buries it.
Flips up from Decker's shoe, goes to the left of him, and we'll see a stoppage play. And that was quick. Like we were talking about, maybe they were inspired. Make it as late as you want. That was really, really quick play on the Heritage Hornets.
It was quick and it was critical, Patrick. As we mentioned, they had been completely dominating, getting frustrated with how Decker just owned them in the first period, went down by a goal. If they didn't respond there, they were going to start to make mistakes out of frustration, perhaps take a penalty, and then find themselves in trouble.
Still lots of time left in the second. 5:31. Goes the length of the court. Heritage gets there first in their own end. It'll curve behind and shot way too quickly for Netgain to recover. Now, back to Netgain, who makes the defensive recovery. Behind. Heritage playing heavy, heavy offense right now when they can, but Netgain's been very good at getting it out of their own end. Goes the length again, calls for icing, gets it.
Yep.
We'll see a stoppage play.
So, we talked about the legs and the stamina of the young guys. That's Stan Wren on the Heritage Hornets with a great back check, put pressure on the defenseman. The defenseman panicked, iced it, and now the Hornets get a fresh start in the offensive end.
And that's crucial, too. If the Hornets win this, we could be seeing a new game.
Absolutely.
Hornets pass goes through everybody. Now turnover, but it goes by him, as the Hornets will have to make the defensive recovery instead of being in a better position. Shot, nowhere close. Now goes in the middle. Decker's got it, and Conrad Decker makes another great save in a crucial situation.
More solid pressure this time. It was from Andrew Reed on the Hornets. Lifts the stick of the defender, stops him from being able to clear that ball, gets another shot on net. And when you're out shooting an opponent by this much, eventually some more are going to go in.
Reed, number 13 on those Hornets, makes the face-off. Now an opportunity here for them.
Offside! Offside! Good!
Passing here by Netgain. And we've been talking a lot about how Netgain may be in last, or they've struggled this season, but they've been holding their own here today.
Yeah, they're clearly they work from the crease out. Great goaltending. They work hard on the boards and look to scramble through with working man's goals. They earn every goal they get, and they really need one of those right now.
So if you're on the bench of Netgain, you're saying, wow, we got up, but then we were down just as quickly. What's your strategy?
Well, I think they've played with Conrad between the pipes for a number of years. They know he's going to hold it in, hold them in it. I think you just want to preach patience, keep on working on the same game plan, and get a little bit more pressure down low.
So nothing you'd alter, really, if you're
Nope.
the Netgains. If you're the Hornets, what do you alter?
I think I want to see more shots from the point. You want to create some rebounds. You're not going to beat them clean. You're not going to beat them coming across the crease. Although you might beat them with a breakaway here.
Hornets trying to become the first to get that ball. And that ball is getting less erratic and more sort of traditional puck-like movements as it goes on. Flips up. The sun has set to a point where it's not getting in anyone's eyes anymore. We'll talk more about the weather conditions in just a moment. But
Lights are on.
yes,
Nice bit of a cool breeze. These are perfect playing conditions, Patrick.
yeah, it's a bit of a different atmosphere too when it's under the lights for both players and fans.
3 minutes left in the second period here at the Rogers TV Ballhockey.com Game of the Week. We've got men's D4 action between Netgain and the Heritage Hornets. I'm Jim Lowe, and my broadcast colleague is Patrick Melbourne.
Took you a second there, didn't it?
I nearly called you Patrick Sidney, so...
Yeah, that's not my name. All right. In the corner now, both teams battling to the right of the goaltender for the Heritage Hornets.
Wells slows the play down. Heritage Hornets have been much stronger on the draws than Netgain today, so Wells is going to get himself a little water break and look for his center to start to play fresh.
Something I don't think we've mentioned in this one so far, these teams haven't met this season yet. This is their first and only meeting between them, the Heritage Hornets and Netgain. So that's a different dynamic as well.
It is. With 9 teams in a 12-game schedule, it's an unbalanced schedule. You play some teams twice, other teams only once, and you can't get the feel for a team when you don't see them until your 9th or 10th game of the season.
And I'd say that's a disadvantage, but it works for both teams that way.
They're equally blind.
Kind of a neutralizing thing right there. Both teams going for it. Netgain playing some defense, flips it up. Pass goes long, but nope, gets to the next defender. And if that was a save right there, and it was by James Wells, then that's as fine a save as you'll see tonight. We're going to take another look at that one right here as, wow. just kind of curled up.
Yeah, Wells knew where the shot was coming from. He slid over to make the save. I think he actually lost his balance, but held himself in a perfect position where he wasn't going to cough up a rebound. That's solid veteran goaltending there.
Hornets passing game doesn't go as the Netgain team intercepts.
Solid work
Now
from
it
Bill
goes.
Placido there for the Hornets. One of the big differences for goalies here is they can't glide like an ice hockey goalie can glide. So being nimble is an acquired art form because you're in running shoes.
Yeah, that never even concerned me. You can't like slide your running shoes like you can skates.
You can't, so it can be difficult, especially if you're a bigger goalie.
James Wells gloves it, stops play with 1:11 left on the clock. And both these teams are kind of back to square one at tied with just over a minute left. Do you think that'll carry over into the third?
I think so. You know, we've seen certainly the Hornets have been the more dominant team offensively, but Decker has been almost unbeatable, save for one goal. You know, the key thing is going to be to stay out of the box. We saw how good the Hornets power play looked. They didn't cash in on it, but they had a lot of chances. I don't think either team can risk taking a penalty.
And explain to the audience at home, if they were to remain tied, how may a tie happen?
Yeah, because this is a regular season game, it will finish in a tie. In the playoffs, it would move to a shootout, to overtime followed by a shootout. But regular season games can end in a tie, Patrick.
A little bit more casual on that front as Netgain tries the shot, gets blocked by one of his own teammates, one of the members of the Hornets. Netgain been a bit unfortunate with the tie so far. So has Heritage, but Netgain even more. Games they could have won, they've ended 5 in a tie while winning only 1. That's tough if you're a team like Netgain.
Yeah, very unusual to have that many ties in a season, but it shows...
Excuse me, 2 ties, not 5. 5's the loss, I misread it. So that makes a little bit more sense, but still those 2 ties, those are games you could win.
So we'll get a look at Andrew Reed's goal here, Patrick. Just tucks it in top right. Decker made the right move. I think the shot came a little faster than he was expecting. Tucks it in over his shoulder.
And you know what? That brings more pressure if you're Netgain. You've kind of held your own while being outplayed through most of it, and now you're down by 1. That changes the game plan, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially with only about 30 seconds left in the period at the time of the goal. It's really deflating. You know you've been on the ropes. You're trying to win it for Conrad in net, and just to allow that late is really going to deflate you.
And it's got to be great for morale if you're the Heritage Hornets going in now, having a lead.
Absolutely, especially since they've beaten them
Shot
on 2 very
goes
different
wide.
plays.
Shot goes to the other team. It's intercepted. Now back to Netgain. Now back to the Hornets. It's really been going back and forth. And that will be the period. Pass along the boards, gets by. Now the Hornets will get it in their own end. The pass. And the passing game's been a little bit stronger than normal for both these teams tonight.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with the Hornets' passing game. They're very good at springing their guys into the zone.
Heads into the corner to the right of the Heritage Hornets goaltender James Wells. And Wells has had quietly, I'd say, a pretty solid game for them.
Absolutely. He has worked hard. We saw that big save late in the second period, and that may have been the momentum changer because, of course, Heritage came down and scored shortly after that. So, sometimes, especially when you know you're going up against a great goalie, you raise your game as well, and once that momentum shifts, it's hard to get it back.
The pass gets by the Hornets teammate number 9.
That's Howe, their leading scorer.
Dave Howe. Tell us a little bit about Dave Howe's playing style.
Smart player. He's a veteran, hard-nosed. He's not going to back down from anyone. And the big thing you'll notice is he gets open. Look at that right now. Floats into the slot, prime scoring opportunity, and guys have just forgotten about him. Well, we certainly keyed on the right guy there.
Yeah.
So a replay in terms of the assist and goal of the first Heritage goal. How
We'll take another look at this one. Sorry to interrupt you, but Conrad Decker, after an outstanding first, well,
wow, Decker had no chance.
yeah,
there.
I'm not saying he's been bad, but he hasn't had much help from anybody in front of him in the defensive side, and that's why they're down 3-1 now.
That goal totally falls on the defense. Howe made a beautiful play to redirect that pass over to Corbett, and Decker had to go down. He had to play the shot on that. All the defenseman had to do was tie up Corbett, but he didn't, and as a result, the Hornets go up
Both
by
teams
2.
going back and forth in the center. Now back to the Hornets. They have an opportunity. It goes wide to the right. Now cross center again. Hornets playing a little bit of defense, the pass, but it goes by him. Didn't know it was coming. Now back to Netgain. Tries to make a fancy shot past the defender. Doesn't go. Now the Hornets back to the wall. And sometimes with some of these fancy passes, the receiver doesn't know what's coming, so it doesn't work.
Absolutely. You tend to see that more in the youth divisions, but sometimes even us older guys can get a little too fancy out there.
Back to Netgain, trying to get out of their own end. Almost went out of the field of play.
Solid play in front of the net by Carl Kovacs for Netgain. That's what was missing on that last goal. He positioned himself well in between the passers. Nice simple poke check to take it out of danger. Netgain needs a lot more of that. They've got to help Decker out by making plays like that. Third period action here in men's D4, Rogers TV, ballhockey.com, game of the week. Jim Lowe and Andrew Melbourne.
Andrew Melbourne?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Patrick.
Play a game at home, folks, and see how many times he either hesitates or says the name wrong. I just want to know.
I do apologize to my excellent broadcast colleague here. It's the first time we've worked together, and what can I say? I've taken blocked too many shots with my head in this division.
We'll take another look at that one again here. You see that one gets by Conrad Decker as we're playing around with names. And the Heritage Hornets, they've taken control of this game.
Yeah, and I really think it's going to be difficult for Netgain to come back. They are a low-scoring team to begin with. James Wells, an excellent veteran player in net. I really don't see him giving up 3 goals in the next 7 minutes.
Well, we'll have to see if you are correct about that. Play will stop. James Wells, 1 shutout in 8 games, but one of the lowest goals against average for him on the year.
Yeah, both James and Conrad coming into this game were chasing Mike Allen for the goaltending title this season.
See
And
Decker
this
on
game,
your screen right there.
this game is absolutely going to help Wells' numbers. He's going to be looking to close that gap. Allen currently with 3.00 goals against average. Wells with 3.5 coming into this game, and that looks to go down.
Across the center, Hornets trying to avoid letting that get past him. Now back to Netgain. You know, that's all the Hornets have to do. They don't have to be dominant the rest of the way. They just have to go back and forth a little bit.
Oh, Wells is a steady goalie in net. He's not going to give up any weak ones. Just want to control the play.
Stopped by Decker.
See a bit of frustration there on Netgain, getting a little chippy with their sticks.
And they can't let that affect them. They've got to choose their shot selection wisely. Got to make sure that passing game doesn't diminish, stuff like that.
Well, they still are very much in this. You know, we saw how quickly the Hornets responded after they went down 1-0. A couple of quick shots can really change this game, but they've got to stay
Maybe a great play
focused.
by a goaltender.
Maybe.
Heads to the right, Netgain now. Turnover to the Heritage Hornets. The shot wide. Maybe playing that board game a little bit. Now playing the Hornets' own end, trying to play a little bit of defense. Curves it around.
Oh, dangerous
much
play by
pressure.
Steve Saxton. Got bailed out by his partner there, but Wells is not going to be happy about that. You don't carry it in front of your goalie and then cough it up.
You can only make that play if you're extremely confident in your ability to get by. Tries to make it across center, doesn't bounce the way he wants to, and that's one of those situations where, again, a puck probably would have done the play he wanted to.
Absolutely.
We discussed earlier in the program about the differences between ice hockey and ball hockey, and the ball is one of the biggest aspects about that, other than the goalies not having skates. Why don't you recap that again for us?
Certainly. Well, the ball absolutely takes different characteristics depending on the weather. Also, the longer the game goes on, especially in the summer months, the ball heats up from both the air temperature as well as action on the floor. So the longer ball's in play, the softer it gets. It's a little easier to control, harder to get a cannon of a shot off.
Awaiting the face-off. It'll be Matthew Frere and Andrew Decker.
Nice little pass.
Hooks it to the right, doesn't go in, wide.
You know, Frere, I don't think has many points for the Hornets tonight, but he has been a solid player. He's moved the ball well. He's had a good couple of scoring opportunities. Really a bit of an unsung hero for them tonight. .5:22 to go. The Heritage Hornets are leading Netgain 4-1 in men's D4. My colleague Patrick Melbourne is on play-by-play, and I am Jim Lowe on color commentary for the Rogers TV Ballhockey.com Game of the Week.
I'm sure there's a guy named Andrew Melbourne around here somewhere.
I said Patrick.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
This time. Back playing, like you mentioned, it's 4-1. Play in the center. Netgain just trying to get something going right now. It's not going all that well.
No, and you know, we talked about a bit of a youth advantage for them, but also it's where sometimes the younger guys are going to start to get frustrated, throw that ball away, take that extra whack. They really need to stay disciplined here.
You see right there, maybe not the most ideal shot selection. Could have curved to the right, maybe chosen his shot a little bit better.
Certainly could have taken another step or two. Lost opportunity there as Wells had dropped his stick, but Netgain could not get a shot on the sprawling goalie.
Nice takeaway right there as he was preparing for a shot. Took too long. Now Netgain back again. He's open, but not for too long. The shot. James Wells is there. It'll head back. Netgain trying again. Curves it to the right. Maybe a little bit too fancy, but he gets there anyway. Curves to the back. Now into the center. Referee hops over the ball right there, has some new legs on in the middle of play. Netgain tries passing it. Now Heritage. They cannot afford a bad turnover right here. They do it anyway. That nearly gets by, but Conrad Decker got down just in time. Now another opportunity. Decker's there blocking. They'll try the long shot. Too much traffic, goes to the right. And Decker gets down, stops the ball, in time. So it isn't 5-1, it's 4-1 with 3:20 left in play.
Perfect point shot by number 11, John Abernaut there. Not necessarily trying to beat Decker. He knows he's a good goalie. He's not going to beat him on a cheap shot, but he put it in a spot where it was going to create a rebound. Howe was there, but just couldn't quite bury it. Solid play by the Hornets defenseman.
And the Hornets on defense have been good all day. Now trying to extend more on offense. They're really determining the pace of play right now. Ball goes back and forth. Netgain trying to get it back, but they keep turning it over. In the center, Netgain trying to do something, but Wells takes it off the board, tries to get it to his own teammate. He does. Now back, nice pass. He'll turn it around, probably shoot. He does, it goes wide. Both teams battling to the right. Now in the middle of the court, 2:39 and counting down left to play here on Rogers TV of Game 2 of 3 for Barrie Ball Hockey. To the left.
The Hornets are totally content to just muck around, eat up time on the boards. With so little time in the game, they're just going to grind this Netgain team down.
You know, that might be the most dangerous play as that one nearly gets in but goes behind. That might be the most dangerous play if you are Netgain, to be sort of in the middle. You don't want to, if you're bad, then at least you can say, well, maybe we're done and we're just kind of playing down the clock ourselves. If you're hot, then you're getting them on. But if you're kind of staying in the middle, that's the most dangerous place to be.
We got a little bit of hope here for Netgain. Hornets defender Bill Placido's going to the net for interference. Got a little bit desperate, a little too aggressive, and now Netgain gets a bit of hope, but they've got to cash in on this one, Patrick.
Placido may be one of the more leader-type players on the team.
Certainly, he's a grizzled veteran. He's not afraid to bend the rules a bit, but that time he didn't get away with it.
Face-off goes to nobody clear. Both teams still battling with it behind the net as people are starting to file in here at the Barrie Ball Hockey Arena.
Men's A division coming up next. That is the marquee division here, and it features 2 teams that will no doubt be headed to the World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships in September.
And you don't want to miss that one. It's coming up next year on Rogers TV. We'll have the call for you. Just sit down, relax, and watch some great ball hockey as play will stop. Minute 38 left in this one. Time ticking down, and it looks like not a whole lot of time left for Netgain.
No, I think Decker's going to stay put in the net unless they can create some offense here. Down by 3, I think he probably waits. If they can score a quick one here, then look for him to come out.
Ball goes down. Now Heritage has the ball. The longer Heritage has the ball, that means Netgain doesn't, and they're running out of time as that one nearly goes in. Goes behind.
It's the right idea to put the ball in at that level, but if the wingers aren't able to get in there to create any havoc, you're just giving up a possession.
In center, curves to the right, gets the ball exactly where he wants it. Hornets behind, if he can curve it around, it's over. Shoots it away, now back to the Hornets. Minute 5 left on the clock. Shot goes a little bit too far left. Almost looks like he curved it around a little bit too late. Now tons of traffic to the right of James Wells. Ball goes through the middle. Heritage will have an opportunity. Turns it over. Can't waste too much time playing with it in your own end if you are Netgain. Only 33 seconds left on the clock. It's looking like it's over. James Wells will stop the play in 27 seconds left on the clock. Looks like it's pretty much over, but Netgain stayed in there and played a respectable game all the way through.
Absolutely, it was a competitive game, but certainly the few breakdowns that occurred absolutely burned Netgain, and it's too bad because they were riding the heels of a great performance by Conrad Decker.
And I'd say it was probably still a great performance by Conrad Decker. Didn't get a lot of help from his defense at times, but still hung in there.
No. But we've raved a lot about Decker, but it's the man in the mask at the other end of the rink that's going to be standing tall in a few seconds. James Wells, excellent for the Hornets tonight.
22 seconds left on the clock. Netgain's got to get this to have any chance. Stopped again. 15 seconds, 15.9 left on the clock to be exact. Here, as you can see, James Wells right there. He has played his heart out, only let in 1.
Yeah, he's not a flashy goalie, responsible, made the right saves, gave his team breaks when they needed it. Another solid save there without a ton of movement. Oh!
Heritage will improve to 4-4-3. Netgain will fall to 1-6-2. As you can see, a goal right there by Netgain. Came too late for it to have much impact, but it's got to be good on the morale.
Absolutely, especially when you're a team that struggles to score.
You can see it again here, just keep talking.
So some great work by Andrew Decker. Rebound comes out. Solid first save by Wells before Decker's teammate buries that rebound.
So any constructive criticism you can give to the Netgain guys?
Well, they need more shots on net. That was an excellent example of the type of goal you're going to score on James Wells by having activity, pressuring the net. Didn't happen nearly enough, and that was the difference.
So that'll do it here for Game 2 of 3 of our Barrie Ball Hockey Day. So Netgain didn't exactly have the game they wanted, but Heritage was extremely strong. Great performance by James Wells. Bunch of players that jumped off. And you know what? Great win by the Heritage Hornets.
Yeah, well, Corbett and Howe were just awesome for the Hornets today. They combined on the 2 goals that really killed Netgain. Beautiful 2-on-0 in the second period, and then finishing it off with a slick play in the slot from Howe to finish Netgain.
So, Heritage Hornets beat the Netgain team for Game 2 of our men's D4 division. We'll be right back here on Rogers TV in just a moment. Heritage 4 and Netgain 2. More Barrie ball hockey on Rogers TV in just a moment with me and Jim. Game 3. This is Barrie ball hockey. And this game will be between the Hitmen and the Balldawgs. Welcome back in, everybody. I'm Patrick Melbourne along with Jim Lowe. And we're seeing 2 teams here that are not at the top of their division. The Hitmen are 5-3 with a tie, and the Balldawgs are 1-8 with a tie. Just hasn't quite been their season. 38 points for them, 59 against. And with points against like that, it's all about the defense, isn't it?
Well, Patrick, don't let the records of these teams fool you. Men's A division here at the Ball Hockey Club is the highest level of competition we have. Both of these teams I would expect to see in the World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships, and they will be among the best in the tournament. So to be near the bottom of the standings in the ballhockey.com Men's A division is no embarrassment at all, because every team is amazing in this division.
Tell us about Kyle Osbienko.
Yeah, one of the most talented players to ever play in Barrie. He is just a lethal threat. Hands that you cannot believe. Fast, athletic. It's almost impossible to completely shut him down. You can only hope to slow him down and limit his points. He already has 17 assists on the season, leading the league.
He plays for the Balldawgs. When you take a look at the Hitmen, it's all about Mitch Canton. He leads the league in goals with 15, and he has 24 points on the year. Looks like far and away the most on his team. Tell us more about Mitch Canton.
Yeah, just a natural goal scorer. He's got a bit more support on his team than Ozienko has on the Balldawgs. So he's currently leading the league with 24 points. Ozienko in second with 23. Just watch his shot. It's lethal, smart player, and any goalie would prefer to face a shot from anybody else on the Hitmen than him.
So settle in if you're just joining us for some awesome ball hockey action. If you've been here for the first 2 games, this one should be just as good, if not better.
This is our main event, Patrick.
These 2 teams 3rd and 4th in the standings behind Team Brute and the Maple Kings. If you're following the league, we're about ready to go. There is ball drop, and it looks like they'll do it again. So the 4th and final meeting of the season between these 2, obviously smaller division, Men's A, so you have more familiarity.
Absolutely, these teams know each other, don't particularly like each other. The big story here is going to be the size of the respective benches. Right now, only 2 spares for the Balldawgs. They're going to wear out. Full bench for the Hitmen. They're definitely going to be looking to use the numbers game to their advantage.
The Hitmen goaltender Clint Hartley, 5.90 GAA 10 starts. Colin Scrimgeour is in net, 3.20 goals against average in 5 starts for the Hitmen.
Colin, absolutely one of the best. He's been a teammate of mine in the past, as well as a goalie that I've played against. He is a technical goalie, smart, and very difficult to beat.
Tell us a little more about Clint Hartley.
Clint is one of the taller goalies that we have in any division. He takes up a lot of the net, can get frustrated.
That's the second time Hartley has stopped the play with
Scrimgeour.
Or excuse me, Scrimgeour has stopped the play early on in this one, less than a minute into it. Hitmen in red, Balldawgs in white.
Yeah, Scrimgeour is a veteran of this game. He's played a lot of Tier 1 and Tier 2 ball hockey in the GTA. He's been playing here in Barrie for about 10 years, and throughout that time has consistently been one of the best. Offside call there. It was an odd play. It looked like it was going to go for an ice before the Balldawgs slowed it up. That managed to put the Hitman offside, so we'll get a restart at the top of the zone.
And just like the first 2 games, the refereeing will probably be very good.
Yeah, both these referees like to keep control of the game. Men's A division doesn't have a ton of penalties. The teams in this division are so good, you can't afford to go shorthanded. The power plays on all 4 teams are lethal, so unless things get really stupid, no one's going to take a penalty.
Hitman back and forth, icing, calls for icing, gets it. We talked about Mitch Kent and Kyle Ozienko before the game. Mitch leads Kyle by a point, 24-23 in the race. Is that accurate to how these players play?
Yeah, absolutely. And notable thing, as we said, Kyle is the leading playmaker with 17 assists, way ahead of anyone else. But his opponent on the other side, natural goal scorer. And as I said, there's a bit more support on the Hitmen. Oh, great defensive play.
Canton 89 for the Hitmen, Ozienko 91 for the Balldawgs, as the shot doesn't go. Now back recovered by the Hitmen. Pass looks like it's going somewhere, goes somewhere else, as play will be stopped again.
It's interesting looking at this Balldawgs team. See, they're younger fellows, mostly in their mid-20s, but some of these guys have been playing here for 15, even 20 years. Programs start as young as the age of 3 here, and I know at least 3 players on this Balldawgs team are closing in on 20 years, despite being very young men.
Talked about Kyle Ozienko. His favorite target's Trevor Broly has 9 goals on the year, 8 assists for himself as well, as the Balldawgs take him behind their net. Nope, flips it the other way.
It's Broly with the ball right there, number 11, but escapes Trevor.
See most of these guys with their own, some of these guys in the younger conferences may have t-shirts or less formal uniforms. These guys are really into it.
Yep, the teams in the A division tend to travel to a lot of tournaments throughout the Eastern Seaboard, sometimes even off to Las Vegas for the Sin City Shootout.
Excuse me.
So, when you're competing at that level, you want to look as good as you play.
Now the team's got a handle on it. Now the Hitmen shoot it to the corner of the left side. Now the right side of the goaltender for the Balldawgs. Curves it right now. Looks like he tries to change his mind. Brings it back. How much do these teams shoot?
Well, certainly the Hitmen are more of a shooting team, but unlike the earlier games that we saw,
Icing call gets it.
Unlike the earlier games that we watched, the shooters are patient here. No one's going to rush a garbage shot at the net. They know the goaltending is too good, and the defense is too good. The shots are simply going to get blocked. So you'll see a lot of patience, but virtually every forward on both teams has got a great shot.
And that makes it tougher on the goaltenders, which really is more impressive for the 3.20 goals against average for Colin Scrimgeour.
Absolutely, and you'll see strong goaltending, and Clint, certainly his numbers do not reflect his talent. He is a good goalie, and he is not easy to beat.
Cross blue. Now the Balldawgs looking for something. Good pass right there. Now back to the Hitmen. Turnover by blue line, now red line. Second blue line shot. Gets blocked by the Balldawgs. Now to the left side. The ball's just going left and right, almost like a ping pong ball earlier in this one.
Keep an eye on number 16 for the Balldawgs, Brady Mayhew. Hasn't put up a lot of points this season, but a smart, athletic player,
Shot
and he's
goes
a
high.
threat every time he's on the floor.
It was deflected by the goaltender, went high after the fact, now back. Balldawgs looking for shots that they can do realistically. Like you mentioned, that shot selection, very important, and emphasized in a league of this nature. Shot goes off the goaltender, now back. Exactly where we wanted it to the Balldawgs teammate. Shot, doesn't go. To his teammate, goes back. Now an opportunity, can he curve it in? No. Curves around behind. First opportunity that was probably realistic for the Hitmen.
Great battle on the boards.
The slap shot doesn't go. He changes his mind and passes instead. Long shot, more intended to go off the boards than anything else.
Yeah, Scrimger just makes a safe save, directs it to the boards, knows it's not going to be in trouble with his experienced team. Nice move by
Trying
Colucci.
again. Great defense right there by the Hitmen. Hitmen curve it around. The shot, or the pass goes long. Now to the middle. Tries to go in. A few could have gone in there. But good goaltending right there.
Yeah, Hartley's got to control those rebounds, though. He's making excellent initial saves. Can't control the ball at all, though, and that's creating additional opportunities for the Hitmen.
Hitmen have a man open to the right. Opt not to go for him. Try something else. Go to the left. Shot is long, goes around, and that could have been dangerous. Flips it back. Now the turnover. Long shot.
Josh Dollimore with a really nice play at the point to keep this play alive for the Hitmen.
Less than half the time remaining in the first.
This is the ballhockey.com Game of the Week on Rogers TV Barrie.
Both teams now behind, now in the middle. Racing for the ball to the left side of the Hitmen goaltender, Colin Scrimger. As the shot, nice save by Scrimger, and we will stop play.
So both these teams, of course, headed to the World Outdoor Ball Hockey Championships. It is one of the oldest and certainly the largest and most respected outdoor ball hockey tournament in the world. It takes place right here at the Barrie Ball Hockey Club, September 23rd to 25th. Patrick, what are you seeing in the first period so far?
I'm seeing both teams that are struggling to stay focused with their game plan because the defenses are so good. Both defenses have really taken charge, and especially the goaltending. You can see it behind. Both goaltenders, like you mentioned, have had a bit of a problem with the rebound, but those initial saves have been really good. Hitmen now, cross middle. They will beat the Balldawgs to the ball in the corner, the left side of the goaltender. Now a lot of traffic in front. You got to be careful also to not get in your own way in front of the net.
Absolutely. We saw a couple dangerous plays in our second game where guys decided to bring it into that danger zone, lost control, put their goalie under pressure. Mayhew, though, makes a smart play, puts it to the side, keeps it out of trouble.
We're under the lights here at the Barrie Ball Hockey Arena. Really a gorgeous day for some ball hockey action, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Not too hot, so it's not going to wear you down like some of the weather we had in July. But not a breeze, just a beautiful night to be out here watching or playing.
quite a number of people watching, enough people between standing and sitting, I believe, to fill both bench grandstands, or at least mostly fill them. So it's great to see all these people down here.
There's Ozienko.
The shot
Look at the
goes
beautiful
wide.
ball movement. His teammates couldn't corral that rebound, but just his control of the ball is amazing.
Long shot as a motorcycle or something gets in our mic. Hitmen, defensive recovery. Nice save right there, shoots it, and then it goes up after the fact. Now the defender, the Balldawgs defender, excuse me.
One of the veterans on this team, Rob Colucci, he's actually been a frequent teammate of Colin Scrimger, the goalie in the other net, but today they're on opposing teams.
Would you say that that affects like how he might go about it? Maybe he knows him a little better?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the thing is, they've got Rob playing D to add some maturity and stability back there, so he's not going to see a lot of action in front of Colin, but definitely, I can tell you, he's been in the ears of his teammates, and he's given them all the insight he can.
And sometimes maybe later in the game he might shift over if maybe he knows something that they don't and change up the game plan a little.
He's a very talented forward. When I played with him a couple of years ago, we used him as a workhorse up the middle, and you know, the Balldawgs certainly would not suffer with him up front.
That's around behind. The Hitmen trying to keep the ball. They do. Long pass goes past. And the Balldawgs trying to recover in their own end. Both teams battling in the center. Now, the Hitman goes by him, and the Balldawgs will recover unless something happens. Balldawgs do. So, neither team getting real grip on that ball. That passing game pretty strong early on for the Balldawgs.
Yep. A lot of these guys have played together since they were teenagers. They know intrinsically where they're going to be. It's just a matter of being able to penetrate the Hitmen's D.
Just under a minute 30 left in the first period. Both teams trying to make an imprint before the second begins. Still nothing here. As you see right there, Trevor Broly on the screen.
Great shot block by Mitch Canton. We were talking about his skills. Oh,
Tries
look at that
to
move.
curve it around. As that one had a chance to go in, it doesn't though. Balldawgs have to be a little bit more careful on defense.
Well, especially that when you've got the leading goal scorer in men's A division, able to step out like that, your D is letting you down. But Hartley absolutely up to the call there.
Mitch Canton, 15 goals, 24 points overall. The shot will be stopped by Colin Scrimger.
Yep, some good presence in front by Honky Harris, though. But Scrimger was just able to reel that in and keep things nice and calm for the Hitmen. I think the Hitmen are content to play this game. You know, we 30 seconds left in the first period. They know that the longer this game goes, the more it is in their favor. They're going to allow those shots, take those breaks, and then charge down the floor.
Balldawgs trying to play some offense in a position where they just can't and surrender the ball to their own end. Shot well long. Second chance opportunity doesn't go.
Yeah, rare error by Scrimger there. Really should have directed that rebound to the side. Put it right.
And we've seen that goalie rebound error come up for both early on in this one.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the veteran goalies, they know that they're going to give up rebounds, and at this level it becomes far more about where you direct them. You've seen that Scrimger has typically directed them to the far boards where it's out of reach. Instead, he put that one right on McIntyre's stick, and it nearly cost him. You noticed Ozienko is now out there. Wasn't here for the opening face-off. They were running with 2 subs. Now that Kyle's here, they've got 1 extra body. And, you know, when your leading scorer shows up, it definitely lifts your sails. So
Yeah,
let's look for some
re-energizes
stuff
ya.
from him this period.
Plus now they have 3 on the bench instead of 2. Both teams battling to the left of the net of the Hitmen. Ball flips up really high now, back to the Bulldogs who make the recovery. Shot. Shot opportunity doesn't go. And it's a turnover, and now back.
Oh, misplayed by Hartley in net. Luckily, his team comes up with it, though.
Clint Hartley's been struggling a little bit to maintain the puck. The saves have been fine, but the maintenance of the puck has looked like he would stop, and I think, no, it'll continue play. It looked like he was going to stop. It changed minds at the last second.
Yeah, and that's you're going to see that throughout the game from Scrimger. He knows exactly where he wants that ball to be. If the option's not there, he's holding it, but he'll make that quick pass if it's there.
Several games happening right here at the Barrie Ball Hockey Arena, but this is the one to watch. As we can see right there, another opportunity for the Bulldogs.
Mayhew with a beautiful attempt, but didn't go the way he wanted.
I think they made the name Balldawgs just so I'd say Bulldogs a couple times in this broadcast.
As long as you don't get your broadcast partner's name wrong, I think you're good.
Patrick Melbourne, Jim Lowe.
Nice tip in front. Josh Durden has been a solid contributor for this Hitmen team. He's got 15 points wearing number 15, but I don't think he wants to finish the season at 15.
Maybe not. Hitman trying to make something now. He's got a man behind him and to the left. Shoots to the left. To the left again, gets in the corner. Curves it around. Tries something fancy, it ends up in a turnover.
Yeah, Mayhew read that a mile away.
Shot goes well high, almost bounced out of the playing surface. Shot wide. Second chance shot doesn't go.
Wyatt Chesson was in the right place, but just couldn't get a clean shot off.
7:22 left on the clock.
Beautiful pass from Mayhew to Colucci.
And the passing game's been strong from both these teams throughout this entire game so far. We mentioned at the end of the first, but it really has been good. Other than the couple of chances of getting fancy, it's been really solid as the ball comes out of the playing surface.
Yeah, and I don't think you can criticize the Balldawgs players for taking those few chances. You know, if they've got a chance to cut through a couple of guys and make it look good, why not? They're not taking unnecessary risks in front of their own net. Few things down low to pump up the boys. Perhaps sneak in a goal, and suddenly it's a whole different game.
Ball drop now through the middle, and they'll have to play some defense quick here. They do. Balldawgs pass in the middle off the board. Not exactly sure where it was. It actually went to the other team, the Hitmen, who went well high. Now an opportunity to play defense. Nice pass right there. Heads through the middle. Oh, that was almost in.
Jacob McIntyre with the best chance for, I apologize, Wyatt Chesson, actually, with the best chance there for the Balldawgs, but not able to cash it in.
Balldawgs haven't played a lot of defense. Hitmen haven't exactly been more relaxed on the defensive side either, but both teams' offenses are both kind of starting to wake up and staying a little bit behind at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, almost the halfway point of our marquee game on Rogers Barrie TV. We're at the ballhockey.com arena in Barrie, men's A division, the Balldawgs versus the Hitmen. Knotted at 0.
And that 0 has had a lot of action behind it.
Absolutely. This has been a tremendous game, and do not let the score trick you into thinking that there hasn't been some amazing offense.
Pass opportunity, nearly tripped on it. Curves it around, tries to sneakily score, but it goes by him now to his teammate. As he'll stop the play.
Bit better ball control there from Hartley. We talked earlier in the game how he was sort of struggling to control it. There, he wasn't taking any chances, knew he had it, just smothered it, and waited for the reset.
Well, Jim, this is it. This is the point where if their fatigue is going to set in, it's going to set in. About halfway through this one. Both teams battling in the corner for it. Now behind the net. Just going back and forth right now. Neither team making much of an imprint. It's more dangerous for the Balldawgs if obviously the Hitmen can get it in, and it's playing on the end of the Balldawgs more commonly. Now back to the other end. Hitmen are going to have to play some defense for the first time in a while. As a car honks extremely loudly.
I think he was just pleased with Dan Hahn's play behind the net there. I think we're seeing the Hitmen slowly take control. If you look at the past 5 minutes of play, there have been a couple of really beautiful bursts by the Balldawgs, but mostly the play has been in this end of the floor.
I've noticed that as well. The Hitmen have been really, really taking control of the play lately. Ball going back in that end now. The Balldawgs trying something as they get a fresh leg out.
Look at that work by Ozienko.
Ozienko leads the league in assists. Usually tries to get it to Trevor Broly. He has 9 goals. Sometimes does it himself.
Yep, 7 goals on the season for Ozienko. You cannot assume that he's going to pass it because he's got a wicked shot. Oh, 5-hole.
Well, you can't do that if you're a goaltender, and they just got the better Clint Hartley right there. His legs were separated. I'm sure we'll see that one again here on Rogers TV.
Yeah, Mitch Canton, he saw that, and he was licking his lips like a wolf in front of a steak.
Got right through. So he had his legs open, and that's a common stance for goaltenders. You see it right here to the left of your screen right there. Found the opening and just kind of didn't see that one coming. Probably should have.
For most other shooters, you know, for a goalie to give him that, to try to draw his attention there, it's not a bad play. But when you're talking about the top sniper in men's A division, you can't give him an inch or he's going to take a mile, and he just did, and it's 1-0 Hitmen.
Talked in the open about Mitch Canton. If you're just joining us, again, like you mentioned, leads the league in goals. Tell us why.
Well, we saw it right there. Quick release, absolutely sees the floor beautifully.
Pass, intercepted.
Canton just doesn't make mistakes when the ball is on his stick.
Another scoring opportunity right there, and after a pretty even first and most of the second, it would be something to see him go down 2-0.
Solid save by Hartley there.
Balldawgs have had to play defense a lot here in the second. They'll probably have an opportunity here. It goes wide.
Jason Seeley, the defenseman, coming in with a pinch and looking really solid down low. Kind of like having that big body crash in. Hartley, obviously, you're not going to screen him, but if you're creating traffic, it's still going to be hard for him to come up with that ball on the rebound.
Balldawgs trying to make more of an impression on offense. They've been playing a lot of defense, like I mentioned. Shot goes wide. Through the first 8 minutes of this period, only 2:35 left. Yeah, 2:35 and counting down. This game's been going by quickly. Goes behind the net now to the right. Hitmen trying to get it over their own end, having difficulty with that for the first time now finally do break through. And the ball goes far out of play.
Under 2 minutes to
I
go in the
believe
second
missed
period.
the car, which was kind of miraculous.
Often we hit it. Our cameraman having to duck out of the way there. This is Jim Lowe and Patrick Melbourne with the Rogers Barrie Ballhockey.com Game of the Week. So really important 2 minutes for the Balldawgs here. They are clearly tiring out. They've got to cash in the chances. If Scrimgeour takes the shutout into the third period, it's going to be very difficult to shake them from that.
And especially like you mentioned with that fatigue looming. This second is crucial. Play will stop. 1 minute, 45 seconds left.
Really, I think the story of this second period has been Hartley, who's been really solid for the Balldawgs in net. One beat him, we talked about that 5-hole, but he's faced a lot more shots than Scrimgeour and is keeping his team alive right now.
I agree with you right there. He's had a ton to deal with. Curves around. Oh, wow. That was something.
Josh LaFrance, great hands, just couldn't finish. There's LaFrance again. Oh, big save. Hartley knew the shot was coming, got himself well positioned.
Balldawgs with an opportunity down the right. He'll have to curve behind the net and lose any opportunity to score on that one. Tries to curve around again, but loses it to the opposing team. Then the Hitmen have been a hard nut to crack here in the second. Hitmen have rarely had a difficulty getting out of their own end. They do not have much again there, although they do, as I'm saying the end of that sentence. Now trying again, Hitmen. Pass is intercepted.
Mike Zuloff showing his frustration there. He made a beautiful play in his end to spring his offense.
And that one nearly went in. Fooled me for a second.
Yeah,
And
hopefully we can
looks
see
like
that one again, Patrick.
Hartley got it at the end, though I wouldn't be certain. Looks like Hartley blocked both of those, although...
Well, even if it did go in, Hartley's not going to admit it. So he'll tell you for the rest of the day that he made those saves. So we're not going to get to see a replay here, but the referee was in position, and he ruled no goal.
Two great opportunities for the Hitmen there, and some great play right there by Clint Hartley, who has a 5.90 GAA in 10 starts. Not really showing it here.
You wouldn't tell it. He has been tremendous.
And like you said, again, the stats are a little bit more misleading than you would think due to the fatigue factor. As you can see, opportunity
off the
one.
post.
Opportunity two, Clint Hartley for MVP.
First shot, he got a little help from the post. Second shot was all Hartley with the save. But I think referee Fred Wilding made the right call there.
Scrimgeour blocks it.
And there was no goal on the play.
21 seconds left in the second. 1-0 right now for the Hitmen. And if they were to keep that 1-0 lead for the rest of the period, the Balldawgs, well, not a bad position to be in.
No, they've got to be pleased with the way this game has been going. They've been allowing almost 6 goals a game to head into the third period, having only allowed 1, getting great play from Hartley. They've got to be happy, but now they've got to respond in the other end. Oh.
Opportunity there, goes wide. Bit of a collective gasp right there from both you and the audience. Might not have been a bad idea right there if you are Clint Hartley to just glove it, stop it for a minute. So we're headed to the third here on Rogers TV. We're going to stay right here. Hitmen versus Balldawgs. It's a 1-0 game for the Hitmen. This is your second intermission. Again, Barrie Bell Hockey on Rogers TV. I'm Patrick Melbourne. That's Jim Lowe. And Jim, Mitch Canton and Kyle Ozienko both have had moments to shine, but they both pretty much been held down.
Yeah, and in fact, I'd say Ozienko has had more chances in this game. Hasn't been able to convert. When Canton got free, though, and had that opportunity, he was lethal. And, I think he's happy to play that sort of game. He'll float around, he'll not draw a lot of attention, and then he'll strike like a viper. And, you don't want to forget about him out there.
And obviously, Canton, more opportunity around him. So if he doesn't have much opportunity himself, then his team really is stepping up more.
Yeah, and you saw, on that shot that went wide, Ozienko made a great play to turn over the ball, but no one to feed it to, and had to take a shot from in not a great angle.
So here we go, 9:53 and counting down. Second intermission is over, and the third period has started and stopped as soon as I said that. So if you are the Balldawgs fighting fatigue, down 1-0, what are you saying to yourselves?
Well, I want to get the ball onto. I think in the first period, Mayhew caused a lot of headaches for the Hitmen. He didn't have the same presence in the second. I want to get the ball on his stick, try to get Ozienko open a little bit more, let Mayhew work his magic, because he really was frustrating the Hitmen defenders in the first period. Didn't see that much in the second.
Clint Hartley and Colin Scrimger both been strong in this one. Opportunity missed, and now the Hitmen have an opportunity. You can't miss those shot chances like that, even if it's not the ideal shot selection. You haven't had many opportunities like that. Just take a chance with it. See what happens. Scrimger will stop the play.
Yeah, and Scrimger's going to do that the rest of the way. He's confident protecting a one-goal lead. In a lower division where you have perhaps more scrambly defensemen, more turnovers, you can't be comfortable with a one-goal lead. Scrimger's happy to sit on that. He knows what he can do. He knows what his team can do. He'll stop the ball every chance he gets.
Started this program under natural light. Now we are under the lights, as they call them, as it is completely dark other than artificial lighting. And that's a different atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, and it brings shadows into play. For goalies who are less experienced, it can really play tricks on them. We've got a nice, fresh, clean ball. Oh, we got...
we have a fight.
Looks like Ozienko, and I'm not sure who for the Hitmen. Or, not Ozienko, I mean Horiso.
Are fights common in Barrie ball hockey?
They are uncommon in this level, simply because the quality of play is so good. Certainly in some of the lower divisions, you tend to see them more often. Horiso certainly is known as a bit of a tough customer, and has had a few bouts on these floors over the years. So a bit of excitement for the fans watching on Rogers TV at home. Really hurts the Balldawgs more than the Hitmen, simply because they have the shorter bench.
Man of players.
And he is a leader on this team, solid in both ends, and they're going to miss him.
But at the same time, that could be the re-energizing piece. Down by 1, now you have something to lift your spirits a little bit. Hey, some action. Maybe we can go back up 1-1. Or tied 1-1.
That's certainly what they're telling each other, and you hope that's what occurs. But, it is hard to replace a quality player like that.
It's all about the mindset, though.
Absolutely. Right now, though, the Hitmen feel totally in control of this game, and it's going to take a really strong rally for the Balldawgs to get some momentum back. So this is Jim Lowe and Patrick Melbourne on the Rogers TV Barrie Ball Hockey Game of the Week. We're just sorting out some penalties. We had a little bit of the fisticuffs, and so Patrick, that's the first fight that you've seen here. How would you compare it to what you've seen elsewhere?
Well, it was a hockey fight, and you know what? No matter what level, or whether it was ball hockey or ice hockey, they do two things. They give you a penalty, and they re-energize your team. And you know what? I think even though the lack of players may hurt the Balldawgs, the re-energizing helps them more than it helps the Hitmen. And if it's all about the mentality, like I suspect it is, I think you could be surprised by how well the Balldawgs come off this.
Yeah, and that is their captain, so they're seeing him lead by example. He's willing to sacrifice his body to pump them up, and it will be interesting to see how this team responds. But they still look like an awfully tired bunch of guys, Patrick.
Could be the culmination of emotions between these two teams. They've faced each other. This is their 4th time facing each other. The Hitmen are 3-0, and the Balldawgs haven't beaten them on the season yet. They've only had 1 win.
So 5-minute fighting majors and game ejections for both players. The teams will continue to play five-a-side. Fortunately, it was behind the play, so we didn't see what sparked that, but referees clearly didn't feel that there was an aggressor or any need to put one of the teams down.
So play will resume in just a moment. As here it is. Immediate shot by the Bulldogs, and I think that's that spark that they were hoping for. But Scrimger on his game today.
Yeah, he's not going to get swayed by a little bit of a scrap down the floor. He's going to stay with his laser focus. He's known for that. Bit of an Iceman between the pipes. He does not get rattled, doesn't show a lot of emotion, and that's not going to change his mindset.
If you were here for our previous game between the Heritage Hornets and Netgain, it was James Wells and Conrad Decker in goal for those two teams. That's a completely different level and a different mindset, though. Tell me how differently these goalies play.
Well, I mean, you see, Colin is a technician in there. If you look at his stance, he's always adjusting. Takes away the bottom of the net, but is very quick to cover his angles. Really, like, he's a thinking man's goaltender. Hartley, his opponent on the other end of the floor, he uses his size. You know, he's a big guy, has a lot of reach, nice long legs. You saw he had a really good save in the first period that a shorter goalie wouldn't be able to make, but just a beautiful kick save that his long legs allowed.
Leaves the ball behind. Now the Balldawgs with the opportunity. That's a turnover. And maybe not the kindest word out of his mouth after
save.
that. And a great save right there by Clint Hartley.
I think Hartley's pumped up after that fight. Bit of a showboat after that save, and that's what you want when your goalie's played well, and he knows that he's played well. And this, statistically, will be one of the best games he's had all season. And
nothing wrong with the way he's played.
No, and he's trying to pump the boys up to get that goal. He'd love to come away with a tie or even better, a win.
You know, sometimes those 1-0, say they lose, and it's that 1-0 tough loss. You can't pin that on the goalie.
Absolutely not. Hartley has been excellent, and the only guy that beat him is the leading goal scorer in the division.
That's a tough one right there, no matter what position you're in, as both teams battle for it. Near the center, now the Balldawgs trying, pass. Great opportunity right there, just missed it.
Yeah, Zuloff has been really solid on D for the Hitmen. Just always seems to be in the right position. Obviously a physically strong guy and not afraid to just bully his way to where he needs to be.
And that ball maybe having a more 3D effect to the fans. I know I kind of guarded myself from it, but it just went up and back down on the playing surface.
So the referees are ruling that the Hitman player essentially was traveling. He took a step and directed the ball forward. You can knock the ball down with your hand, but you cannot change the direction, momentum, and essentially carry it forward. And that's why the face-off is going deep into the Hitmen's end.
You mentioned some different ball hockey rules that the audience may not be accustomed to early in the program. Maybe go over those a little?
Certainly. One of the key differences is that stick fouls are 4 minutes, so a slash or a cross-check will fine you with a double minor.
What's a fight, for example?
A fight, well, they received 5 minutes in a game misconduct, and they'll both sit for some time in the suspension. They're probably going to miss the rest of the regular season and perhaps into the playoffs.
That's a tough penalty right there.
Absolutely, and not just for this game, but obviously losing your captain for a few games when you've already
Wasn't
got a short
Odzianko
team.
part of that fight too?
No, it was
excuse me.
Harriso.
Mixed up my players for a second there. Now, the Hitmen going back in their own end, trying to do some strategic shots, but the Balldawgs knocked them back, forced him to play a little defense, almost tripped over himself a couple of times there, had to shoot it away. 6:44 left in the game. That 6:44 will be crucial for each team. Obviously, it's a 1-0 game, not over by any stretch of the imagination. And if the Balldawgs can tie, maybe that's not the worst case scenario.
No, they're looking for more momentum headed into the playoffs. They're locked into that last spot, so a win doesn't change where they stand. But knowing that they can knock off this team, I think would really help them mentally as the playoffs begin
Heading
next
into the
week.
playoffs, and they're 0-3 against this team in this regular season, so that would really increase morale.
Yeah, and with a 4-team division, there's a very good chance of meeting each other again at some point in the playoffs.
The teams are evenly matched. Now, Hitmen.
Great little back check by Trevor Broly there. Just gets his stick on the Hitman's stick, forcing the shot to go high.
And when I say they're evenly matched, I mean take all the pressure and who is controlling or whatever at different points in this game. Minus one mistake by Clint Hartley, this game's still tied.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Hartley would like to have that one back, but he has been their best player. He's faced a lot more shots than Scrimger in the other end, and has given them a chance to stay in this game, and with a couple of lucky breaks, win it.
Isn't it funny how in sports you can be the best player and also cause the downfall at the same time?
It kills you when that happens. It absolutely kills you, but it's something that many of us have been in that position.
Both teams fighting near the audience in the center. Now the Hitmen try and get called for it. So 6-14, we've talked a lot how the Balldawgs are thinking. What are the Hitmen thinking?
Steady as she goes. This is a veteran team. These guys have played in the World Championships multiple times. They've played in this division for a long time. They're not concerned about protecting a lead. They're just going to stick to the game plan. They know they've got a rock in net with Scrimger.
And Scrimger has been extremely solid all year for them. Made 5 starts heading into this one, 3.20 GAA.
Now, a notable thing, Patrick, that you and I were talking about before the game, though, is even when they haven't had Scrimger here, their team goals against is almost identical. So, you have to give credit to the team defense. As big a fan as I am of Scrimger, this is a team that knows how to play defense.
Three games with a different goaltender in net.
A really solid save by Hartley there. As we talked about his partner.
Opportunity! And you got to get those ones down if you're the Balldawgs.
But did you see the Hitmen defense there? It was Hahn, number 2, didn't get rattled, just came up with the ball and sent it out. So, a rare time that Scrimger gives up a rebound that's a bit of trouble, defense is there to bail them out.
And sometimes just about having that defense ahead of you as a goalie, it makes you look better, it makes you more confident, so many things.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, you'll see, with very few exceptions, the D on this Hitmen team do not pinch aggressively. They've been steady, stay-at-home guys. We saw a couple of pinches in the second period, but for the most part, they're content to just play their roles and bail calling out when needed.
Hitmen trying to just keep it in that end, because for the first time, the Balldawgs are looking a little bit more dominant, keeping it in the Hitmen end. Now another opportunity, but if he's got it, he'll try, and he doesn't have it. If he had it, he'll try and stop it, but he didn't. Now, Balldawgs trying to play offense. They've been struggling now. Pass goes long, but recovered. If he can get it to his teammate 10, they may have a chance. No, flips it back.
It's Jessen with the ball. He's had a quietly effective game. It's by far the best shift the Balldawgs have had in a while. Broly's looking for a bit of help.
Curves it around. In. And this game is tied.
What an effort from Trevor Broly. Tied up on the boards. He was looking for a teammate to come in and bail him out because he was taking a pounding there. Still slips away, comes across, and beats Scrimger, and Scrimger's frustrated by that. He was looking for that shutout, Patrick.
And as I thought, their mentality just turned on, changed everything, and now it's a brand new game with about 4 minutes left. Both teams at the height of what they've done today.
James Reed on the Hitmen's got to be wondering, what can I do to shut this Broly guy down? He was all over him, and somehow Broly still came up with the ball. Just a tremendous individual effort from Broly.
Trevor Broly heading into the game, 9 goals, 8 assists. Pass it behind, curved around, and that's probably the best place that ball could go if you're the Hitmen. Curves it around.
Boy, Canton's woken up this shift, hasn't he, Patrick?
Yep. Mitch Canton leads the league in goals.
He's had a quiet third period, but he just came alive after that Balldawgs goal and nearly got the lead back for his team. 3:42 left on the clock. This has been a tremendous game. The short-staffed Balldawgs battling hard here, and now in a 1-1 tie with the Hitmen.
And sometimes that Balldog mentality, you're down a player again because of the fight, and that's going to start to wear off that advantage you had because of the mentality. But you know what? They're tied now. A tie looks better than a loss, and a win looks better than a tie.
Well, and the way they tied it up, it really shifts the momentum to them because they look at their teammate who's been working his tail off. He's tired just like them, comes up with an amazing individual effort. Now everybody's got more wind in their sails.
Heading into this game, the Hitmen 5-3-0, Balldawgs 1-8-1. But you wouldn't consider a Balldawgs win an upset, would you?
No, the talent on this team is amazing. They're just they just have a short bench. Ozienko may very well be the best player in Ontario.
Leads the league in assists.
But there's the fatigue factor there.
The Hitmen outplayed the Balldawgs in period 1. I'd say it was even during period 2. Opportunity here. Did that go in?
It did.
Yeah, and that changes everything as the Hitmen, again, like you mentioned, I think both of our theories went into play. The mentality brought the tie on, the fatigue brought the Hitmen lead back.
Well, that play started because Ozienko was looking for the change. He looked back at his bench as the play came up.
Take another look at that one as you continue.
Created the turnover. Mayhew makes a solid play, but no Balldog goes to the loose ball. And then you got Zach Durden here, perfectly parked. Nothing Hartley could do on that.
Play begins again and flips about 2 centimeters beside me.
Little souvenir for Patrick to take from the Rogers Barrie Ballhockey.com Game of the Week.
Ball seems out to get me today. I don't know what it is. Must not like something I'm saying about it.
Just knows your name, Patrick. Tired Balldawgs team, that's really got to take some wind out of their sails. But with 2:23 and the talent on this team, they can get right back in it.
Question for you. When the environmental hazard turns from sun to like bugs, does that affect gameplay?
The bugs don't tend to bother you when you're on the floor. It's when you go to the bench. This time of year is not nearly as bad as the spring. The mosquitoes come out. This used to be a wetlands area, so certainly in the spring season you can have a lot of mosquito bites. Delayed call coming up here against the Hitmen. Hartley's gone to the bench.
.145 left on the clock in the third. It is 2-1 Hitmen.
And I think Mitch Catton's going to the box for holding.
That would be a significant loss. Yeah, he's headed there. That would be a significant loss for the Hitmen, the leading goal scorer in the league. He has 24 points headed into today. Now you have an advantage for the Balldawgs to tie things up.
We talked earlier in the game about how you don't ever want to give an A team a power play opportunity. Every team in this division has got a great power play, and the Hitmen are going to have to hold on for dear life here.
Opportunity here, pass. 87-91, now his teammate. Now back.
Hartley to the bench, extra man out. We got a 6-on-4 for the Balldawgs.
And that'll work as long as they keep it in that end. They only need one to tie.
Hitmen thought that the ball had left the zone, but Ozienko kept it in. Looking for the movement.
The shot, wide. Another shot goes right to him, blocked, and goes up. Now back, Balldawgs. Shot after shot after shot, and all the selection has been good so far. Pass back, now to his right. Fakes a shot. Passes, now back. A lot is happening right now. Now back to the Hitmen. wide, and they just got a break.
Pass did not go where Colucci wanted, nearly cost them.
They cannot let the Hitmen have the ball for even a second, or they risk going down 3-1. It'll be gloved by Scrimger.
Absolutely beautiful start to the power play for the Balldawgs. Completely controlled, lots of smart shot options, but we saw that fatigue there. Colucci just made a desperation type of pass, very soft, created a turnover, nearly cost them an empty net goal. They've got to dig in, perhaps look at taking a timeout, get some water in themselves.
16 or more fans into this one by standing up right by the court.
So smart move by the Balldawgs there. They waited until the very last second possible to call that timeout. Just gives them that extra 15, 20 seconds on top of the 30 for the timeout.
25 seconds left. Will it be a win for the Hitmen, or a tie for the Balldawgs, or if everything goes right, a win for the Balldawgs?
Well, I certainly would not count the Balldawgs out. We saw beautiful execution on the power play. Scrimger had to come up with a couple of big saves, but this is a Hitman team that's not going to be rattled. You know, they're content to let the Balldawgs pass that ball around. They're going to take away the lanes and just rely on Scrimger to hold them in.
25.0 seconds left on the clock. They'll return from timeout.
Now, it was interesting, with all the young firepower on this Balldawgs team, the guy they kept moving the ball to was the veteran Colucci. Watch him moving in and out from the point.
Rob Colucci, number 87 on the Balldawgs.
Broly out wide, the goal scorer for the Balldawgs earlier this period.
Ball drop. Lots of confusion. Now will go wide. It matters who gets there first. It's the Hitmen. Now behind, curves it around, it's in! And the Hitmen have made it a 3-1 game with the empty net goal.
Great hustle by, it looks like Chris Dobinson. Absolute great hustle. Chases down the veteran Colucci, battles him hard behind the net, and then easily taps it in on the wraparound.
And this game shifts from a nail-biting final 15 seconds to 3-1. It's probably over, but the Balldawgs will have another opportunity. Curves it around out back. Pass it to his teammate. 5. Walking it back 2. Walking it back 1. And this game is over. 3-1 victory for the Hitmen. They sweep the matchups of the season 4-0 over the Balldawgs, and the Hitmen just outplayed them for some of this game.
They did. We really saw the spread occur in the second period. I thought in the first period teams were very even. But for the Balldawgs, they've got to be happy with their effort tonight. They got a great performance from Hartley, who's had a difficult season. They were in this. That goal by Broly in the third period gave them life. They just couldn't hang on, and the empty netter finished them off.
Did it go the way you thought it would with fatigue, or did they hold in a little bit better?
Absolutely, and we saw that. I think we were both surprised at how competitive the first period was. But with every minute that passed, the spread just got a little further. But all credit to the Balldawgs for fighting back in the third period, because they showed a lot of heart, especially after they lost their captain to the fight earlier on.
So, the Hitmen 3, the Balldawgs 1. I hope you've enjoyed this Barrie Ball Hockey Day as much as we have here in the booth. I'm Patrick Melbourne. That's Jim Lowe here on Rogers TV. Those last 3 games were full of action, full of excitement, and we hope you enjoyed them. That'll about do it for us here. Have a fantastic night. Goodbye.